Tonight on Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw, we follow up a shootout at the Keystone Center that saw the Brandon Wheat Kings defeat the Saskatoon Blades for the first time this season. The two teams hook up again tonight for the second of a back-to-back, and that always means bad blood. We've got the Blades and the Kings from the Big House in Winnipeg coming up next.
Hello everybody and welcome to WHL Central, the hub of the dub right here on Shaw TV. I'm Kevin Cady, filling in for a virally inflicted Dan Elliott. But Dan's pain is my gain because I know we are in for a good time and a great game as we bring you the second in a back-to-back series between the Blades and the Wheat Kings. Last night at the Keystone Center, it took a shootout, but Brandon came away with their first victory of the year over Saskatoon. Tonight, the venue shifts to Winnipeg, and to give us their pre-game prognostications, we join two giants of the Canadian broadcast industry. Of course, I'm talking about Dan Russell and Bill Wilm. Gentlemen?
Well, thanks very much, Kevin. The Saskatoon Blades and Brandon Wheat Kings doing battle for the second straight night. They've moved 200 kilometers to play this game. Brandon with a big victory last night, their first of the year against the Blades, but the Blades have had a terrific season and played very well of late.
Well, you know, the Saskatoon Blades have won 5 in a row going into last night's game. They lost in a shootout. That was the first time, Dan, they lost in 8 shootouts this year.
Well, they've been led by a lot of players, but Chad Klassen, a lot of teams were looking at Klassen, weren't they?
Well, I'll tell you something. Chad Klassen was the most coveted 20-year-old in the league at the trade deadline. Why? This guy's a scoring machine. He was in on all 3 goals last night. He had a goal and 2 assists, and he tied the game late in the third period.
The Brandon Wheat Kings, as I say, they had a very timely victory in the shootout last night. They are now 5 points up with 4 games to go. We basically have a week to go, and this will be a huge win if they get a sweep.
Absolutely, and they're playing their best hockey right now. They've won 3 and lost 1 in their last 4 games. That shootout win last night was huge for them. But, Dad, they're led by 19-year-old TEEGAN Moore. He's one of 14 players from Manitoba in that Brandon lineup. And I'll tell you what, this guy's a captain. He's got 19 goals, 6 of those 19 against the Saskatoon Blades. He's got to play well to lead this team into the playoffs.
Brandon Wheat Kings, Saskatoon Blades. It's the 10th and final meeting of the year. There's lots on the line for both teams. Let's go back to WHL Central. And here again is Kevin.
Thanks a lot, guys. Insightful, ingenious, and inspirational as always. Now, the sponsors are the people that make all this happen. Know them, support them, and let's hear from them now. You're watching WHL Hockey on Shaw.
And a pleasant good evening again from the broadcast booth as we get set to bring you the 10th and final meeting this year between Brandon and Saskatoon. Let's look at the goalkeepers. The Blades, coached by Lauren Mulliken, will start this game tonight with Anton Khudobin in goal. Khudobin has 22 wins, 13 losses, a 2.89 goals against average. Up the ice, Tyler Plant, 24, 23, 5 and 4. His goals against is 3.32. The referee for tonight's game will be Matt Kirk. Graham Heather and Kim Dalaberta are the linesmen. As you look at the referee who worked the game last night in Vancouver. And away we go with Saskatoon in the dark uniforms going left to right. Brandon Wheat Kings in the whites, trying to make it a weekend sweep of the Blades. So we're underway as Boyle goes back in his own zone to try to get the puck. McRae chasing him. Comes around the near boards here. Klassen working along those boards, and now it is Cone controlling for the Wheat Kings, and they're going to start out of their zone, but only for a moment. The pass didn't get up to BURKI. Cone goes back to collect it. Dustin Cone from Edmonton trying to lug that puck out. He's forced back there by McRae. Now he dishes it off. That's Boyle getting it over the line. BURKI throws it towards the net. Khudobin turns it aside. Going there in the corner is Reeves. Reeves trying to dig that puck out, but it's picked up by the Blades. But they can't clear it out. The actual Wheat Kings get it out to center, and they shoot it right back in again. Khudobin, the goalkeeper, will leave it back to the net as we hit the 1 minute mark here of the opening period. Blades starting out. Barnes gets it up to Bahenski. Rolled in, Barnes giving chase. Barnes from back of the goal, trying to work it in front, could not. He's checked there by Lenoski. And the Wheat Kings will come out. There's Moore. Moore's long pass up for Dittmer. Didn't quite click. Now Day gets possession. He'll send it in. Puck goes down the ice. And we get an icing call, and we're going to take a break. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Now a word from our sponsor.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Face off in the circle to the right of Tyler Plante, the Rookie of the Year last year, Bill, in the Western League.
And the Saskatoon Blades have only lost 11 games on the road. The Brandon Wheat Kings, believe it or not, after a horrific start this year, have only lost 10 games on home ice. So this is a battle between two interesting teams with pretty good success, one on the road and one at home. You know the Wheat Kings are going to try to establish a good forecheck inside that Saskatoon zone. And it's often the forecheck that determines the tempo of a game. In fact, it determines the energy of a game.
That was Setoguchi that got that puck in, but it was called on the offside.
Well, that's Joe Barnes, and you know, you take a look at his stats. The very first look at him, he's 6'3", he's 220 pounds, he's got 23 goals, he's got 49 points. He looks like the complete NHL package. The only knock on him is consistency. He's so big, he's so good. If he can just dominate a little bit more for that size, Carolina, that took him in the 3rd round last year, be very, very happy.
Mark Lewis for Brandon, playing it back of his own net as the Wheat Kings try to get it out. They work in the near boards, and the puck goes down into Saskatoon territory. Giving chase over on the far side was Gillies, trying to get it out, could not. And now it is going to be controlled by Brett Ward. He'll play it along the far side. McAngus, outlet pass to McCauley. Now it's brought in over the blue line by Gillies. His shot sailing wide of the Brandon goal. Gillies giving chase on these near boards. There's a collision at the penalty box area as in comes BURKI. BURKI takes a shot, and that's a good save by Khudobin. Very quick release there by BURKI off the circle. Here comes Setoguchi back the other way. He rolls it into the Brandon zone. First to it there was Derlego. Here's a loose puck at the side of the net, and a good chance there by Zizitko. And goalkeeper Plante made a good save from in close. Here's another chance. Setoguchi shot stopped by Plante, and he holds on to stop the play.
Cody BURKI with the first chance inside the Saskatoon zone with a nice quick release. This is why he's a pretty good prospect in the upcoming draft. You'll see he takes the man wide, gets a good quick snapshot. This is the way you release the puck. Look how he gets himself in a position. Even though that was a bad angle shot and Kubota didn't have any trouble with it, I like the way BURKI took it to his far left, created a little bit of room to get that release.
Wheat Kings clear up, but they can't get it out. Cole dumping the puck back to the net. Over on the far boards, bit of a battle for it there. Reeves trying to get it out, does. Reeves coming out. He has Dittmer with him, but Dittmer didn't stay with the play. He backed off a little bit. That's him chopping the puck back at the goal. And the Saskatoon Blades will come out, led by Setoguchi. He's so much fun to watch. Setoguchi trying to split the defense, but it rolls to Plante. That 1-on-3. Even a 1-on-3, a little bit dangerous there with Setoguchi. So dangerous all the time. He's got 34 goals, 80 points. He's number 6 in the Western Hockey League in scoring as the puck is flipped in by Wickner. Brandon making a change. We're nearing the 4-minute mark of this scoreless first period. Rabbit got it out to the neutral zone area. Coming in hard there was McCauley. Pass picked off on the far boards. That was Wickner trying to chop it out. He did get it out to the neutral zone, and the Blades will control. First pass doesn't click. Second one ends up going off Rabbit inside the Brandon zone, but the Wheat Kings come out. Here's Cone with the puck. Cone dishes it off, and back comes Lewis. Lewis hits the line, but no further. Justin McCrae for the Blades got it out to the center ice area. And now Saskatoon will control. It's Cone again inside his own line. Dustin Cone, New York Islanders draft pick, got it out to center ice. Now it's controlled by Hunter. He sent it. He tried to send it in, but ended up going out of play over in the bench area.
Dustin Cone, a New York Islander draft, as you said, Danny, was traded to Brandon from Calgary. And you know, he was a 4th defense selected from the WHL in last year's draft. Terrific addition to this Brandon team. He handles the puck very, very well. They look at him as a little bit of a quarterback on the power play, but it's a power play for the Wheat-Kings that's still coming in tonight's game is dead last in the WHL, but certainly signs of improvement. Cone, a very good acquisition.
Only a handful of power plays in the game last night, Bill. The one played in Brandon. Power plays, penalty kill, that's been such a big story for the Brandon Wheat-Kings, but not in a positive way. They're last in both departments, and yet here they are in a good position to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that the Wheat-Kings, with 38 goals, have the fewest scored on the power play, but they went 0 for 41 till they got 2 last night. Now, that was important, and you know, power play is all about confidence. Be important, I think, for Saskatoon. Make sure they stay out of the penalty box tonight.
Schultz for Saskatoon trying to work it around the boards. Derlego blocked the first pass. Brandon makes a pass in for BURKI. Now here's Derlego at the side of the net trying to work it in front, cannot. Saskatoon's Joe Barnes, number 9, trying to dig it free. Ends up on this near side. SETOGUCHI back there. Schultz will try his luck. Good job by Brandon here on the forecheck. Derlego back there trying to work it in front. Cannot. BURKI now off the corner board. Centering pass, and a shot was partially fanned on by Lenoski as one of the Blades got their stick on Blades at the 5:39 mark. I think it's a holding penalty.
We're going to show you a forecheck. This is the way you go in. You make the contact in the offensive zone. This is Brian Kauk moving in, creating something, creating a loose puck in the offensive zone. And when you can establish a cycle like the Wheat-Kings were able to, then you can sometimes get a team to start looking a little bit concerned and all of a sudden take a penalty. This is the bump we're talking about. There's the loose puck. Look how it's picked up by the Wheat-Kings. Derlego right on top of it, but taken into the boards, they draw the penalty. Wheat-Kings on a power play.
And as we just referred to, their power play is the worst in the Western Hockey League, operating at just 10.9%. Cone gets the puck over here for Boyle. Boyle dumping it down low. Dittmer trying to get his stick on it. Back at the goal 15 there is TEEGAN Moore. He gets it over here for Boyle. Back of the net. It's Topilko trying to come off the end boards. Got it back to Cone. Nice move by Cone to get by the Saskatoon forward there. Klassen, as a long shot is turned aside by Khudobin. Now it's back at the goal once more. Controlled by Moore. Moore gets the puck off to Dittmer. Dittmer working off the boards. Back for Moore. Moore for Dittmer. Trying to see somebody in front. There's Boyle coming off the boards. Boyle put it in front of the net, and it was just redirected. Why went off a Saskatoon player. Now back to the net. It's controlled by the Blades and sent down the ice.
Still a minute left, 52 seconds left in the power play, and so often if you've got a power play, you got confidence, Dan. Even in the last minute, you hope to get down there right now if you're the Wheat-Kings and try one more scoring chance. If you're Coach McCrimmon, you're saying, look, give me one more chance. Doesn't have to be necessarily a goal, but give me a chance, make the goaltender make a big save.
Logan playing it hard around the boards, held in by the Wheat-Kings, but a glove hand pass will stop the play.
Coach Kelly McCrimmon, what a remarkable job he's done with this team. November 25th, his club was 11 games under 500. But you know what? Since the new year, his team has got 16 wins, 11 losses, and that's the reason they're in a great playoff position now with the Prince Albert Raiders. They're 5 points up going into tonight's game. I think Kelly McCrimmon's done a better job of coaching probably this year than he did all of last year when he had that great team that lost in the WHL finals. Sometimes you got to do more coaching when you haven't got as good a team, and I think Coach McCrimmon's finding that out this year, doing a great job.
Courchain coming out of his own zone as the penalty comes to an end. He fires it in. Khudobin with the blocker, making that save, and it's knocked out. Here's a break for Barnes coming out of the box. Barnes cutting in a goal, shoots, scores! Joe Barnes in his home city of Winnipeg opens the scoring. 1-0 Blades, just seconds after he jumped out of the penalty box.
We talk about the quickness. He comes out of the box, picks up the puck. You give Joe Barnes, 6'3", this much space, he'll pick him up and lay him down. Terrific acceleration, comes in off that right wing, picks a spot, goes over top of the shoulder of Plante, and the celebration is on. That is just a sniper's goal for Joe Barnes, his 24th of the season. Talked about that earlier. He has got that kind of potential to show that kind of quickness and that kind of release. 1-0 Saskatoon.
I think Cole got the first assist. We're having trouble picking up the assists here, but Cole got the first assist, and for Barnes, that's his 7th goal this season against the Brandon Wheat Kings. So he's enjoyed the games against this club. Here's another chance in front. They score. It's 2-0. Justin McCrae taking a great pass from the boards, held onto the puck just long enough for Plante to commit himself, and just like that, it's a 2-0 Saskatoon lead.
Boy, if you are the Blades, Stan, and you scored the opening goal as Barnes did, and you can come back on basically the very next shift and create another scoring opportunity, that's pretty good. Blades, so many times, the pace of play is dictated with the guys without the puck. And this is what you see on the replay of the goal here. Very, very quickly, they move it, there's movement there, and that's a good job of breaking into a hole that Justin McCrae does. He takes a feed perfectly, makes no mistake. It's 2-0 Saskatoon.
That was a nice pass from WACEY Rabbit. And Barnes gets the 2nd assist, so all the big gunners in on that goal, and here they come yet again, and a shot on goal is stopped by Plante. This time it's McAngus coming in off the boards, first-year player out of Edmonton, testing goalkeeper Plante.
Yeah, and again, now you've got 3 good chances in a row. You've scored Barnes coming out of the box, McCrae on basically the next shift, and here come the Blades again. This is the offense that they've got. They're really good at moving that puck and getting it to people, and they get right on the net and they force Tyler Plante to make another save.
You know, we're working pretty high up here in Winnipeg, and I have to tell you, and even apologize a little bit, I think we have the wrong goalie in the Brandon net.
Well, we were told
yes.
It was Tyler Plante. I don't think they've switched. In fact, Dan, he was certainly on the starting lineup. They may have made a goaltender change on us, and we didn't see it. You don't get a warm-up. If it isn't Plante, it's Kurt Jory in goal for the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Right. Look at that stick breaking and getting a lot of hang time in the process. So it is Kurt Jory, a first-year goalkeeper, born in Brandon, who's been beaten on these 2 goals, and it's early 2-0 Blades lead. But we were told prior to the game, so I'm not sure if we had a change or if something happened to Plante in the warm-up, but we'll try to get that information for you. And here come the Blades once again. That shot by Zazitko sailing wide of the net. Blades holding the puck in. Working along these near boards is Klassen. Taken off his stick by Boyle. He can't get it out. Another broken stick there. Meantime, Saskatoon Zazitko trying to work it in front, cannot. Klassen over on the far boards, cannot get it. And here comes Dittmer for Brandon out the other way. Dittmer getting it up for Moore, but couldn't collect the pass cleanly. And now it is Cloud. Knocked off his stick. Cloud will have another chance. Again, knocked off his stick. So they go back in their own zone. And it's McAngus starting that lead pass. Missed everybody. Saskatoon making a line change here with 9.5 minutes to go in this first period. Yo trying to clear it around the boards. Hunter out to the blue line area. Held in by the Blades. There's Price from the point. His long shot, that's knocked down. Price dumping it back at the net. Cawley giving chase over here on this near side.
Wow, that's a good forecheck. That's a pretty good job of Brandon to come out of there. Derlego did good work, but you know what? He comes up the ice stand and his lineman has to go for a change and he's left all by himself.
And that's because Saskatoon has done such a good job on the previous forecheck.
Exactly. You got to get off the ice sometimes. You're tired. that pressure on the forecheck, and boy, teams try to establish that, is such an important thing, not necessarily in the first period, but later in the game.
As CODEY covers up, we'll get a face-off in the Saskatoon zone. 2-0 Blades from downtown Winnipeg. This is the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Pizza is a great place to bring the entire family.
Comes in all by himself inside the zone of the Saskatoon Blades, and he finds himself, well, this is a pretty good job of forechecking for both teams when they try to establish something in the opposing zone. But you know, the shots on goal 5-5, but right now the Saskatoon Blades have capitalized it on goals by Barnes and McRae, lead 2-0, 8:37 left in the first period.
Yes, and Brandon, they've had a couple of sort of semi-chances, nothing that you would call a real quality scoring chance so far for the Wheat Kings. Schultz playing around the near boards for the Blades. Outlet pass went off the skate, so SETOGUCHI will take it and dump it into Brandon territory. Giving chase to Bahenski. He fell down as it's cleared by Day, but, well, I was going to say not out, but it did actually come out as Logan couldn't hold it in. Now Schultz sends it back in. Day has it. Riley Day, 20-year-old in his 4th year. Former Medicine Hat Tiger. Brandon chasing it, but can't get it, so it's icing called on the Wheat Kings.
Brandon certainly didn't want to get in a position here after that great shootout win last night where they're trailing early in the hockey game, but it's exactly what's happened. You can tell they're a discouraged club right now, a little bit down. They really don't think they played that bad, but 2 mistakes and 2 times the puck has ended up in the net. WACEY Rabbit with it there, trying to make, again, an offensive thrust into the zone. Good movement back to the point.
In fact, it was McRae that got it back there. Cold shot was fanned on, and here come the Wheat Kings. BURKI going in hard on his backhand. Can he get a shot? No, he's taken down. He crashes into the boards, and the puck comes around to the near side. Blades trying to get it out there. Lego. Number 10 for Brandon. Couldn't feed it in front of the net. Chad Klassen starts back. 24 goals on the year for Klassen. He sent it in, but it's offside at the Wheat King blue line.
You want to know how to back check? You want to know how to take CODEY BURKI out of the play? We'll show. This is a terrific job by the Saskatoon defense to make sure that BURKI is taken out. First of all, the contact is made. Brett Ward finishes him off. That's BURKI in the corner of the rink. Very difficult to score when you're on your can behind the net like that. That's the way to play the man one-on-one. Good job. And you know, the more that the Blades take players out that way, the tougher it is for them. I don't think they've had a scoring chance yet.
That's David Schultz with the puck for Saskatoon, a Vancouver Canuck 8th round draft pick. To the net, we're going to get a penalty as they drove hard to the net. And Brandon's going to be shorthanded here on the hold.
Now, this is the Saskatoon Blades 1st round draft pick. This is why they like him. This is why you draft him. Colton Gillies. Look at him take the puck to the net. There isn't a whole lot on that play that the Brandon Wheat Kings defense can do. They can only drive him out of the play. Theron Yo has no option. Make contact. He draws a penalty, but terrific job by the youngster Gillies. Fighting off the check, taking the puck to the net. He's a big guy, and man, oh man, is he going to be a good one. 2nd overall Bantam picked in the draft in his draft year.
Theron Yo gets 2 minutes for holding at 12:58. So Saskatoon operating on their first power play of the night, leading 2-0. The long shot, oh, great save on the point shot deflection. SETOGUCHI centers it, but unable to get a stick on it was Bahenski. Goes back to Schultz. Schultz playing it over to the other point. That's Logan. Logan dishing it off. SETOGUCHI in the circle. His hard pass hops over everybody's stick, and the Wheat Kings send it down the ice.
Good save by Kurt Jory. Right in close. There was a little bit of a deflection. He made the first save, and he was in good position to make the second one.
Brandon hopes they'll look back at that save a little later on as being a big one. Let's see what happens here as the puck is dumped in by TEEGAN Moore. Schultz going back to collect the puck. And here come the Saskatoon Blades, led by Joe Barnes. He hits the blue line with some speed. He tries to barge through, dumps it to the corner there. Now around these near boards. Let's see if David Schultz is going to hold it in. Only for a moment, still bouncing around, but the Wheat Kings able to get it out to the neutral zone. Now there's 49 seconds left in the minor penalty. Team's making a change, but Brandon able to get the puck and they clear it. Out it goes and brought back in offside. The referee actually helped the linesman who was out of position there, Matt Kirk, making that offside call, as well as handling all the other calls.
Well, you see WACEY Rabbit, the captain of this Saskatoon team. The guy won the Blades Community-Minded Spirit Award, Dan. He was one of 6 Blades that visited downtown Vancouver on Hastings Street, learned about the dangers of drug and alcohol. And then what did he do? He took it back to his schools and send that message to the kids in school. And boy, I'll tell you, that's the kind of stuff that I think is great for the WHL. I've said this so many times, the WHL is not so much what you get out of this league, folks. WACEY Rabbit will tell you that. It's what you become by playing in this league. I think he's a great captain for the Saskatoon Hockey Club.
29 seconds remaining in the power play for Saskatoon. If you're just joining us, they've got 2 goals in under a minute here in the first period to have this 2-0 lead. Trying to build on it. Back of the net, Justin McCrae getting it for Klassen. Klassen out near the blue line towards Ward. Intercepted and shot down the ice by the Wheat Kings. That should do it for the penalty here as Khudobin leaves the puck at the side of his net. Penalized player, Yo coming back on the ice. And here comes Rabbit out of his own zone. Lead pass tipped in by Klassen, but not deep, so it's knocked out again. But Klassen jumps on it. That goal pretty hard, but I was really impressed how fast it left his stick. He didn't waste too much time on that one. Nearly 3-0 on that shot. BURKI in the corner, being tied up there. Derek Price tying him up. Also in there, 14 is Justin McCrae, but number 8, Ryan Funk, comes up with the puck. Gets it to the line, but not out. Cone.
There's a turnover. You just can't make that play at the blue line.
Right, he was trying to find somebody and took too long and ended up turning over the puck, but that's him collecting it now, Dustin Cone. And as you mentioned, they are just a different team with Cone. In fact, their win-loss record since he joined the team, Bill, has been really quite outstanding, and I don't think coincidental.
No, they needed a guy. They needed a guy to settle the defense down, make the breakout pass out of his own zone, and Cone's really giving him that. See, those turnovers right there, you don't get that puck in deep, you always end up going all the way back in your own zone. Dan, 200 feet, you got to start all the way out of your zone. That turnover is no good. Look at this.
All right, McCauley turning, spinning, took that shot. It ends up being grabbed by Kurt Jory, and he holds on.
Kurt Jory getting a surprise start in the goal here. We really do apologize for not picking it up sooner if, in fact, that happened. I have a feeling they made a quick change. I mean, the scoring sheet, starting sheet clearly said Tyler Plant, but I think they just made a goaltending change and put Jory in, the same as a line change out there, and we might have just happened to miss it. But in any case, it doesn't matter. He is in the net, Kurt Jory. He's won 3, lost 6. He's got a 3.58 goals against average and an 88% save percentage.
Jeff Topilko trying to get the puck in deep. He did. He did it by lugging it down there. Derek Price trying to tie up his man. Courchain went in there to throw a hit. It is held in at the blue line by Yo. He dumps it back to the net. Courchain around the back of the goal, trying to find somebody in front. No Wheat King in front of the net. Topilko dumps it back as they try to work off the cycle here. Wickner, number 29 for Brandon, had it for a moment, lost it. Derek Price comes up to pick up the loose puck. Now a pass up through center ice. McCauley giving chase. McCauley from back of the net can't get it in front. The Wheat Kings get it and clear it. And now a break pass for Kauk, trying to pick it up, but he's at a sharp angle. He's still waiting for somebody to join him. That's Derlego. Derlego couldn't handle it cleanly. Kauk gloves it down, but can't get his stick on it. Kauk will try again. Here's Derlego. His shot is fanned on. Oh, that's a good chance for Derlego. Maybe a bit of a sharp angle, but nobody around him. But the puck just rolled off his stick, and that was an easy one, as it turned out, for Anton Khudobin.
Boy, there was a Brandon Wheat King, I think it was Tyler Ditmore, that was absolutely flattened in the slot area. This is the way you clear the slot, folks. Watch the good, clean, solid hit. There's a stick check first. Keep your eye on the front of the net. You're not too sure how to move a guy out of there. Here it comes. Well, bang, that's the one right there. It took a little while to get it, but it was there. The puck ended up harmlessly on the goaltender.
Here comes SETOGUCHI for Saskatoon. His shot going wide of the net. Bahensky trying to put it in front, could not. And now back the other way. Here come the Brandon Wheat Kings. Taken right off the stick of Kaukin. Here's a 3-on-1 the other way. SETOGUCHI cuts and shoots. Oh, he fanned on it. SETOGUCHI didn't know to pass. He didn't know to shoot. When he finally decided to shoot, it rolled off his stick. And then back, how often do you see a 3-on-1 turn into an offensive penalty? But it was all disasters there for the Blades. Nothing went right on that 3-on-1. And almost for the way they didn't execute it, they deserved 2 minutes.
But this is where it started out great. Watch how it looked when it started in the turnover in the neutral ice area. And you got the puck on SETOGUCHI's stick. And bang, 3 of them, 3 Blues. Look at this. There's 1 white-shirted defenseman back. How does that turnover happen? SETOGUCHI's got the good shot. He waits. He's got 2 guys to give it to, decides to shoot. Watch. No, he doesn't shoot. He topped it. That's called a top shot and goal.
So Brandon goes to their second power play of this period. Boy, they'd love to get something here. And as we documented a little earlier, their power play has just not been clicking very much. Shane tests, and they get one. They score. To Pilko right at the side of the net. Just when you think the Wheat Kings power play is not ever going to click, they get one very quick. It only takes a half a minute, and they're right back in the game.
Well, the key here is that Courchain gets the puck on the net. He's 3 white for the Brandon Wheat Kings, and you know, you get it on the net, you keep somebody going to the net, and you get a rebound in front of the net, you can finish the play off. A rebound, I think that Khudobin would like back. Dittmer starts the pass. And it's a great little job in front of the net to finish it off. It was a tic-tac-toe play, and it ends up in the back of the net, and that was important for the Brandon Wheat Kings to answer that.
Moore and Courchain drawing the assists at 18:34. So the power play goal for Brandon is only their 39th power play goal of the season.
Well, Daddy, they had a stretch there. They went 0 for 41 going into last night.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. So now it's all of a sudden hot, their power play. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
And that's exactly the way power plays go. It's no different. It's confidence. It's a timing thing. Boy, when you don't do well on a power play, you don't think it'll ever end. And when you got it going real good, you think it'll never stop.
All right, the puck is in the neutral zone area for SETOGUCHI. He's got to be shaking his head. He just had a 3-on-1 a few moments ago. Could have made it 3-0. Instead, took a penalty on the 3-on-1, and it's a 2-1 hockey game as Khudobin holds on to stop the play. I believe we can look at that goal now, Bill.
We will show you the goal, and you will see that it's Courchain with the shot on the net. We talked about getting the puck to the net. This is Courchain breaking over the wing. Important for Brandon to have guys going to it. How does he lose the puck in that position right there? Khudobin, I don't think knows exactly where it is, or does he? Well, it ended up happening right after that. But the important thing is it got in the net.
Sure
Another
did.
good play.
And Khudobin looks right behind him. So he didn't know where that was as the goalkeeper for Saskatoon stops Reeves, but looks behind him.
Well, that's big Ryan Reeves with doing a... Ryan Reeves taking that puck hard to the net, does a good job right in the last 10 seconds, and he's a big power forward that St. Louis took, and I like the way he got the puck on the Saskatoon net.
Brandon wins the face-off, but it goes all the way down the ice, and this period is going to end. Brandon actually outshoots Saskatoon by an 11-8 margin, but Saskatoon with 2 goals under a minute apart at 7:48 and 8:20 have a 2-1 lead. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Let's go back to WHL Central.
Well, back here at WHL Central, we have a great intermission show planned for you. We're going to talk to Joe Barnes. We've also going to take a look at the relationship between Winnipeg and the Brandon Wheat Kings. We've got highlights and analysis with Dan and Bill, and lots more. Stick around. We'll be back right after these messages.
There's comfort in knowing that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WHL Central. Now, Vancouver and Calgary are two teams who play regularly in a professional arena in front of large crowds, and many believe that gives them an edge. So that's probably why the Wheaties get jacked when they move their act to Winnipeg.
With the Brandon Wheat Kings being the only Western Hockey League team in Manitoba, it makes sense the team would venture to Winnipeg for a few home games. When the Wheaties and the Lethbridge Hurricanes recently played at the MTS Centre, it continued the tradition of the Wheat Kings being the province's major junior team.
Over the years, we've played a number of games in Winnipeg, first at the Winnipeg Arena and now in the last 2 seasons at the MTS Centre. I think that our players find it exciting. We've always had some players from Winnipeg on our team, and you know, certainly for those players to play in front of their friends and family, I think they enjoy that. And I think even all the players on our team, it's a you know, real nice building. It's an exciting place for them to play.
Not only do the games in Winnipeg allow fans to see major junior hockey, but it gives Winnipeg-born players in the Western Hockey League a chance to skate in their hometown.
I think every time it's the same. It's always exciting to come home and have my family members and friends watch, and good atmosphere out there, and I love the ice and the rink, and it's just a good time.
It's been a long time since I got to come home and play. You know, 4 years in this league, and you know, got lucky enough to come here and play in front of my family and friends.
This year's Wheat Kings lineup is 14 Manitoba-born players, including 3 from Winnipeg. When the team plays in the Peg, it saves families like CODEY BURKI's the 2-hour trip to Brandon.
Yeah, that's right. They're always happy about that, and you know, it's not just my family; it's my friends too. They all get to see me, and you know, I never really get to talk to them or anything during the season. So it's really nice to be here.
You know, making a building like this is you know, I hope NHL eventually comes back here. The city deserves a team, and you know, the fans are pretty good. So you know, building's beautiful, and hopefully get one here soon.
For the Wheat Kings, the MTS Centre has become a second home. They've played a total of 7 games over the last 2 years, including 1 playoff game in the new arena, and have a 6-1 record in the building.
Outside of our first game here last year, you know, it's just another game, and that we can't forget why we come here. We come here to play and have success because it is a home game for us. So I think that. You know, we don't talk about the building or the circumstances a whole bunch. I think that you know, players enjoy coming here, as I mentioned earlier, but we don't put a lot of focus on it past that.
For Shaw TV, I'm Jim Toth.
Well, excellent piece, Jim, and let's hope that the Winnipeg Arena is lucky for them again tonight. Now let's go right away to hear from our sponsors. We'll be back. You're watching WHL Hockey on Shaw. Hello everybody, welcome back to WHL Central here on Shaw. Right now we're going to go back to Winnipeg because Jim Toth is standing by with Blades' Joe Barnes.
Joe, I know you guys gave up a late goal, but you got to be happy with the start after the shootout loss to the Wheat Kings last night.
Well, definitely. I think coming off, you know, it was a tough game last night, and I think we the first 2 periods last night it was really tough for us to come out, and we didn't realize, you know, Brandon's fighting for their lives, and we may be sealed with the playoff spot right now. But we learned in the 3rd period, battled back, and unfortunately lost a tough one. But tonight we wanted to come out and play this type of game, and it's too bad we gave up 1 late. But no, we got to start. We wanted to. So
1 goal, 1 assist. You must be happy playing in your hometown again.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's fun to play in my hometown again with all my family in the stands. They don't get to see me play too much these days, so I know it's good, and I'm happy to come out and play. So
thanks very much, Joe. Good luck in the 2nd period.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
Joe Barnes from the Saskatoon Blades, who lead the Wheat Kings 2-1. Now back to WHL Central.
Thanks a lot, Jim, and you always want to look to your veterans to get things turned around after a loss, and definitely Joe Barnes is doing that tonight. Now, Brandon goalie Tyler Plant is a young man who has met with a lot of success. He is Rookie of the Year, has team records in shutouts and goals against average, and of course he's a NHL draftee. So let us take you into the world of a young man who prefers his mesh unrippled.
Tyler Plant's season, much like the Brandon Wheat Kings, is gaining momentum. After a slow start for both the team and Plant, the Wheaties are in a fierce battle with the Prince Albert Raiders for a playoff spot.
We got off to a rough start, I think we all know that, but It wasn't the start we wanted, but we've really turned the boat around right now. I think since after the break, we have the best record in the East Division. So, I mean, really tightened up defensively, and we're all putting in a good work ethic every night, and it's really helped us get some wins.
The Wheat Kings' slow start could be due to the turnover of key players who led the team to the Eastern Conference Championship last season. Gone are 3 of the top 4 scorers in the Western Hockey League from last year: Eric Fair, Ryan Stone, and Tim Conserata. After taking over the #1 job between the pipes last year for his hometown Wheat Kings, Plante went on to win the WHL's Rookie of the Year honors, but he may have been suffering a bit of the same hangover his teammates were at the start of this season.
Yeah, I think we found this year that as much as you maybe know what has to happen and you know where you want to end up, there's still a transition in getting there, and I thought that our team struggled so bad out of the gate that in a lot of ways we were a hard team to play goal for in terms of the types of chances we were giving up and the number of chances that we were giving up. And I think that to play goal, you have to have trust in your teammates, that people are going to be picked up, that rebounds are going to be cleared and that type of thing. And I just think that collectively we didn't have that to start the year, so it was a tough start for Tyler and our team. And it's been night and day since late November.
I'm just out there trying to give my team a chance to win every night. I mean, the guys do a good job for me. They're doing a great job lately, so I'm just trying to give them a chance to win whenever I can.
Plante was also drafted 32nd overall by the Florida Panthers last year. However, he's now focused on this year.
Last year is a pretty special season for our team, and individually and as a team. So it's tough to compare, but we're really happy with the way things are going right now, and it's pretty special year this year, how we can get off to such a rough start and turn it around and start playing some good hockey here. So they're not very comparable, but they're both fun seasons.
Tyler knows despite all his success in his first year of major junior hockey, he still has more work to do.
I think I just got to keep developing. Like any players after their draft year, they just got to continue to develop and prove to the team they were drafted by that they can be a player, and that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Heading into the stretch drive, the Wheat Kings have been the hottest team in the WHL's Eastern Conference, and Plante is catching fire too. He recorded his first shutout of the year February 8th against Lethbridge. Reporting for Shaw TV, I'm Jim Toth.
And now let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. You can see the Prince Albert Raiders behind the Swift Current Broncos 4-1. That play is in the first period. The Regina Pats with a commanding lead over Red Deer, and Red Deer playing for their playoff lives. They are down 3-0. Moving along, the Lethbridge Hurricanes putting a kink in Kootenay's shot at second place overall in the BC division. They lead 1-0. Vancouver Giants and the Kamloops Blazers. We're going to keep our eye on that one because it could get nasty. That game has a 7 o'clock start, and a couple other late starts we'll keep you informed of as they get going. Everett taking on Prince George, and Portland taking on Seattle. The last game later tonight, Tri-City Americans taking on the Spokane Chiefs. And one of the beauties of the WHL playoff format, of course, is right up until the last game, there's always playoff implications everywhere. And to talk about those in the game at hand, let's go back to Winnipeg and check in with Dan Russell and Bill Wilm. Gentlemen. A little bit of a problem there in Winnipeg. We forgot Dan and Bill have it in their contract that they're allowed a snack and a drink in between intermissions, so we'll get back and get their thoughts on that first period a little later. Right now, though, remember, it's the sponsors who make it all happen, so let's check in with them. You're watching the WHL on Shaw. Hello everybody, welcome back to WHL Central. We'll take you back to Winnipeg in a little while, but right now we want to introduce you to a Brandon native who plies his trade in the BC division. Brock Nixon is a guy who has a great future in hockey. This guy has a lot of skills, and he takes a licking and keeps on ticking like a Timex watch. Welcome to the world of Brock Nixon.
Coming into the 2005-2006 season, one of the questions the Kamloops Blazers had was where the goal scoring was going to come from. And like all good teams, they wanted it to come by committee. Early in the season, the Blazer goal scoring was tough to come by, but since Christmas, the game has blossomed offensively, and one of the main contributors to that offensive game is 18-year-old Brock Nixon. After scoring 6 goals in his first 2 seasons, he has 23 this season and 8 in the month of February. It's safe to say he is having a breakout season.
You know, coming in the start of the year, year. Had a few personal goals as far as numbers go. You know, it's tough to make those. You never know what kind of situations you're going to be put in. You know, ice time's always an issue, but you know, everything's been exceeding my expectations so far.
So to go from 2 goals to 4 goals to 23 goals, Nixon says it's just coming down to confidence.
You know, first year was just getting the feet wet in the league and trying to play as many games as I could. And you know, last year I was a little disappointed I didn't contribute a little more offensively. But you know, the season right from the first game of the year, and I got that first goal out of the way the first game, and you know, things have really been rolling ever since.
Those good guys are a pair of 4th-year forwards, winger Moses Gutierrez and center Reed Jorgensen.
Well, Jorgensen's great. You know, his work ethic is second to none, and you know, he's got a good set of hands. He likes to throw pucks on net, so it's easy to go to the net for rebounds. You know, Moses brings the size presence to our line. You know, creates a little bit more room down low in the neutral zone, and you know, brings that physical presence that you know, Reed and I you know, can't really bring as much because our size limits us a little bit.
Recently, that line has played a major role in the Kamloops-Kelowna rivalry, with the Blazers winning 6 of the first 8 games this season.
Well, it's our biggest rivalry, and you know, especially looking at the last 2 seasons, they've pretty much owned us. And you know, this year that's something we really wanted to do. You know, win the season series against Kelowna, and I believe we've clinched that already, which is great. But you know, every time you know they come into our building, we go into theirs. It's, you know, it generates excitement on its own, because you know, big rivalry. You know, we don't like them too much, and I know they don't like us too much. So it really gets us going.
So with Brock Nixon enjoying a breakout season and offensive contributions on a regular basis from C.J. Stretch and Travis Dunstall, and 17-year-old defensemen Keaton Ellerby and Victor Bartley, after struggling to score goals at times in 05-06, it doesn't appear as though the Blazers will be hurting for offense in 06-07. For Shaw, I'm Kirk Fraser.
Excellent professional piece there by Kirk Fraser. Now, I understand that Dan and Bill are back in Winnipeg, and they are fueled up and ready to impart their wisdom on us now. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Well, one thing we thought, Brandon, even though they gave up those 2 quick goals, it was so important for them to get something by the end of the period.
And wasn't it funny? It came after Devin SETOGUCHI on a 3-on-1, Dan, fanned on a shot. He takes a penalty. Brandon goes on a power play, and you're right. They needed a lift. They got it late in the period. We'll show you the goal as Brandon scored it. It's a pretty good effort by all 3 guys on that line.
Okay, they'll roll the highlight right now. Here's the Brandon goal late in the period.
Yeah, this is Corshane going down the wing. He gets the puck on the net. The rebound comes out to Moore. Now look what Moore does with it. Gets it back on net. Rebound right to the front. That's Topilco putting it in. 27 blue, Joe Logan maybe had the best seat in the house there. I'm sure if he had it back, he'd like to check the guy shooting that puck in the net. But that was important for the Wheat-Kings to get back into this hockey game.
All right, let's go down ice level now. It's a 2-1 game as we start this period. The teams are at full strength. Brandon in the dark uniforms. They bring it in over the blue line. Right off the jump here, they get an opportunity as it was Rabbit going hard to the net, and the save is made. All right, we'll take that break early in the period. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Saskatoon Blades getting another opportunity right from the corner there. So, you know, we've only played a half minute here. We've had the 2 whistles, and we've had 2 good scoring chances.
Well, again, you know, the Blades certainly know how to come out and answer the bell. Jory under a little bit of attack right off the bat. Yes, he was pulled after the second goal, or Plante was pulled after the second Saskatoon goal, and Jory went in. He made a big save early. And, you know, sometimes that's the key, is get a save, get a shot on goal quickly, get right into this game. It's a good Saskatoon team. They seem to be able to dominate in certain areas, get the puck on the net. They're very talented. This is a hockey club with 5 20-goal scorers. And, you know, I mean, that's a whole bunch of offense.
Rabbit throwing it in front. They score! Speaking of offense, Rabbit threw it in front of the net. At the other end was Cloud. Checked at Klassen, and it's a 3-1 lead for the Saskatoon Blades.
Well, you get a couple things. You get a great play from WACEY Rabbit, throwing that puck towards the net. You got Chad Klassen. I talked about him right off the top. This guy is a scoring machine. I thought it's a good job for them to get it wide. Now this is a pass. Look at the time he has. He knows exactly where it's going. Folks, that's a fake shot, and it's a great pass. Rabbit puts it right on the stick of Klassen. No mistake. He knows where he's going with that. He freezes a defenseman that's coming out to block it, and a nice redirect by Klassen, and it's 3-1 Blades.
I'm not sure that Klassen doesn't deflect it twice. The first time off his stick, it gets in the air, and I think he kind of redirects it into the gaping net. So we know Rabbit gets the first assist. We could not pick up the second one. We have 49 seconds into this period. Saskatoon restores its 2-goal lead, but here are the Wheat Kings. Courchain turning, spinning, shooting, and his shot is stopped by Khudobin, and he holds on.
Now Corey Courchain trying to come back. Khudobin with the save. Khudobin's a Russian goalkeeper. Had an up and down year last year when he played for the Russians and had the wheels absolutely fall off in that Russia-Canada loss. He got pulled in that 6-1 game when Canada won the gold medal. This year, the Minnesota Wild hoped he was going to come over to North America and play here. He's done that. He's had a pretty good season.
Now the Wheat Kings trying to come up with the puck behind that Saskatoon goal. Derlego working hard along the boards, but he's pinned up there by Derek Price. And here come the Blades out of their own zone. Long pass picked off. That's Yo sending it back in. Price. Derek Price is from Fruitvale, British Columbia. I know you've been there, Bill.
Oh yeah, got some fruit there, but I can tell you something. There's a pretty good golf course there too.
Well, I didn't see that.
That's the key, isn't it?
Didn't care about
never
those.
Never mind the fruit.
You didn't care about those British Columbia apples.
I'm into the carbohydrates.
All right.
Carbohydrates and golf courses. Oh yeah, sure.
Well, I'm having to process that just for a minute. Tough day in Winnipeg to play golf for you.
Yeah, noticed that very quickly, but it's a milder day. That's the key about Winnipeg.
David Schultz starting out of his own zone.
They love it here when it's 30 below because they say the skies are always blue, but you got to look at it from inside the windows.
Indeed, Setaguchi couldn't get his stick out. Here come the Wheat Kings out of their own zone. Able to dump it in deep. Now it's back at the goal. It's controlled by Saskatoon's Logan. He got it up to Barnes. Barnes can't get past the red line. He's knocked off stride. Reeves getting that puck in. Shots are favoring Brandon at this stage, 12-11, but 3 of those 11 shots have gone in off the 2 Brandon goalkeepers. Tyler Plante in for the first 2, and then Kurt Jory came in after the 2-0 goal, and he just surrendered the 3rd Blades goal. That's the first one he has surrendered.
Well, Ryan Reeves did a good job there in 2 things. He made a check in the neutral ice area up against the wall, and then he did a terrific job covering in front of the net. Ryan Reeves, a big kid.
Barnes going in hard, trying to move it in front of the net, could not. Dumped back at the goal by Blair McCauley. Goes back to the line, long shot. That's gloved down by Jory. Now it is controlled by Kauk, number 8 for Brandon, but he couldn't get it deep. And again, Saskatoon gets that puck in to the Brandon zone. Goalkeeper Jory sweeping it around the boards. Logan jumps on it out here. Joe Logan is from Gull Lake in Saskatchewan. Now here's a chance for the Wheat Kings, and a shot by Kauk is blocked. And shot back in again.
Good job by Logan to block that shot. Logan with the puck right now. You know, he's one of 4 new defensemen on the Saskatoon team. It came at the trade deadline. Very, very good at getting the puck out of his net, Logan is. They just think, the Blades do, that they've got so much more finesse coming out of their own zone. May have given up a tad of toughness, Dan, but they move that puck way better out of their own zone.
Here's Lenoski coming out for the Wheat Kings as he hits the line with some speed, gets around one defenseman, a centering pass to Pilko, fanning on it. Going in to keep it in was Erb, but it comes out down the ice. Goalkeeper Jory out from his goal. He'll sweep it around these near boards. Courchain collecting the puck. Corey Courchain. 11 goals this year for the Wheat Kings. Now coming out is Wickner. Wickner rolls the puck in, heads to the bench on a line change. We passed the 5-minute mark of this second period. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms on Shaw TV from downtown Winnipeg tonight. Puck goes offside at the Saskatoon blue line.
Lauren Mulliken is a 48-year former goalie in the WHL. How come so many goalies become coaches, Dan? But Mulliken played for Swift Current in the WHL. 91 and 95, he coached Saskatoon. You know, he had 3 different teams in the NHL, Mulliken did. Chicago, San Jose, Pittsburgh.
Also a former GM with the Moose Jaw Warriors, former coach of the Regina Pats. Coached in the American League with Cape Breton and reached the Calder Cup Finals in 1997 with Hamilton. So yeah, he's a career coach to be sure. And he's just watching his team take a 4-1 lead. SETOGUCHI scoring for Saskatoon. And the Blades have their biggest lead of the night.
You know, they do a good job right at the blue line. The Blades do advancing that puck into the Brandon zone. You know, if you've got that possession to take it over the line like that, make one pass to the outside, get it on the net, and then have somebody crash the net, that's a recipe for goals, and you see it happen. Gain the puck at the line, make a good pass to the wide side, good pickup of the puck right there, control it, get it on the net, and the key is you got Brandon Wheat Kings watching the play instead of turning around and seeing who may be coming to box out. In this new NHL especially, Dan, you don't have to play a punishing game, but you got to play a hard game in front of the net defensively.
We could not pick up that announcement. We do know there's a penalty. It's not SETOGUCHI's goal. They give SETOGUCHI the first assist, so it's now a penalty calling, and I do apologize because we're unable to pick up here the PA feed, so we're not able to hear any of the goal calls as an interference infraction is being called on Schultz. Brandon's going to go to the power play.
David Schultz, he needed a change of scenery, Schultz did. He started in Swift Current, got traded to Spokane. Now he's here in Saskatoon. He's playing for a contract, Schultz is. Big 6'3", 195-pound kid from Winkler, Manitoba. Vancouver Canuck draft, and right now Brandon's back on a power play. Trailing 4-1, would you say, Dan, that it would be a huge lift for this Brandon team to be able to capitalize right now?
And they did on their power play in the first period. They got a power play goal at the 1834 mark. That's their only goal of the game. And yes, they would like to stop the momentum that Saskatoon has started with here in the first 5 minutes. I thought that late goal that Brandon got in the first period was
give him a lift,
going to give him a lift. It gave Saskatoon a lift.
Yeah, they came out really hard. They came out hard to start the game. They came out hard in the second period as well.
Here's Moore. Moore getting the puck to Dittmer. Back for Moore. Now Dittmer working off the circle. Couldn't get a shot away. Day dumps it back at the net to Pilko. Trying to work it in front. He's being checked there by Logan. To Pilko and Logan battling back of the net. Dittmer plays it around the near boards. Now comes back to Cone. Cone moves in, takes a shot. That was bounced off the leg and goes to the corner.
The way Cone slid along the line there, Dan, at the blue line, he tried to find the lane to shoot the puck through. And again, the Blades did a good job. You know, when you're killing penalties, or for that man, 5-on-5, body in lanes, stick on the puck. That's such a recipe for success defensively.
Here's Derlego in front of the net. A shot is turned aside as Andrew Clark had an opportunity, but he didn't get good wood on it. Now a centering pass for Derlego, and he can't corral the puck. Oh, that looked like it had a promising finish there for Derlego if he just was able to skate backwards and control. I know, it's so easy from up here.
No, at this height especially, but, you know, Derlego, 19-year-old, suffered a very terrible neck injury in the last exhibition game last year. He missed the entire season. This is a good opportunity for Delego in front of net. He's had a terrific rebound year, 22 goals, coming back after a year that he didn't play hockey at all, Dad. 8 goals and then getting 22 the next year. Yeah, he is a nephew of Brandon scoring sensation Billy Delego.
Yeah, I got to believe he's the comeback player of the year.
No question. I mean, you got 8 goals in 03-04. You miss a whole season, you come back and get 22 the next year, right out of, being a whole year out of hockey. Good for him. Uncle Billy's proud, I'm sure. In fact, they call Mark Delego. His nickname is Billy.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. In over the line, hard shot taken by Rabbit, turned aside by Jory. Battle for it in the corner. Saskatoon's Rabbit trying to come off the boards with the puck. See them kicking for it. That's Brandon's Lenoski. He'll start out on the left side. Lenoski got the puck up for Reeves. Reeves sends it in deep. They go in on the forecheck as Khudobin sweeps it around these boards. Brandon coming up with the puck for a minute, but Rabbit intercepting. He'll get it to center. They shoot it in and peel off, or at least 2 of the 3 forwards do as they make a line change.
That was a good job of Theron Yo to close the gap. Real quick, he forced the Blades to shoot that puck in. That's the difference, Dan. You close the gap on the attacker, you make him dump it in. Not easy to make a play when you have no space to do it in.
Mark Lewis lugging the puck out to the center ice area. Now it's Funk for Saskatoon going back to get it. Now Price will. Brandon making a line change, so Price has some room to move the puck along these boards. Brandon sending it back in. Dobin wandering out of his net, playing it around these near boards. BURKI couldn't control it cleanly, and Cone goes back to collect it. We're halfway through the second period of the second game in as many nights. Well, almost halfway. 10:02 to go in the period.
The original team, Saskatoon Blades, in 1966 to the present, they have never left the league. They have never changed locations. They've been a real solid franchise. Had a lot of drafted players into the National Hockey League as well. And they've got a couple interesting team records in the WHL record book I'll tell you about in a bit.
And with Brandon coming in the year after, I mean, how many meetings have these two teams had over the years? There's a wraparound attempt and a save by goalkeeper Jory, and he holds on to stop the play. From downtown Winnipeg, you're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Boston Pizza Sports Bar, how great is this? You got great food, great drinks.
Zdeněk Behenski inside the blue line, deep in the Brandon zone. This is a good job of getting that puck on the net. It was a wraparound that Saskatoon tried, weren't able to do it.
As we see the Brandon goalkeeper make another save, I believe they have that highlight ready, Bill.
Yeah, we'll try it now. This is Behenski in the corner, creates the puck, and watch the Blades take it around the back of the net. Try a little wraparound, short side. Good job by Jory with a paddle down. You know, there's no way you're going to beat a guy down low in this league. Their goalies are too good. You got to go upstairs. And there was no way Jory was giving up anything on that play.
Setoguchi from back of the net. He gets the puck to Barnes. Cross ice here. Long shot. That's knocked down. Wheat Kings. Brendan has, I mean, it looks right now like they're short-handed, but they're not. They are at full strength. And here they come out of their own zone with the puck. Pilko brings it in over the line. Shane centering it, turned aside by Khudobin. Jumping in there is Lenoski. Lenoski putting it back to the goal. Blades intercept. Here they come with Brett Ward. He's from Swift Current. He shoots the puck in. Setoguchi off the boards, hard on his backhand. Can't get the shot away. There's a good check on the far side, but Brandon comes up with it. It's Cole Hunter. He gives chase. Hunter, number 11, gets it back of the net. There's a centering pass. That was a good pass by Andrew Clark, but didn't quite connect. Clark, 27, back of the goal, trying to move it in front, cannot. And back the other way comes the Saskatoon Blades. McAngus shooting the puck in. Trapped at the side of the goal there is Gillies. took the shot, trying to bank it in off the goalkeeper. No luck there.
How do you like the size of this guy? Ryan Reeves, 6'4", 200 pounds. St. Louis loved him, took him in the 5th round. You see his stats on the screen. He played in the shadows of Eric Fair last year, Lance Monich, Ryan Stone, Tim Conserata. You know, it's tough to get noticed when you're playing behind those guys. St. Louis had hoped he'd show a little bit of his offensive upside that they think he's got. He's a physical guy, and his 14 goals, 27 points, I think would please the Blues. Talked to some of their scouts the other night about him. They love what he's really doing here in Brandon.
Brandon Wheat Kings bringing in over the line. BURKI a shot, that's knocked down. By the way, this is the 4th time this year, and the final time they'll play in this beautiful facility in downtown Winnipeg. They were here just a couple of nights ago, and they defeated Moose Jaw on that evening. That was a big win, too, for their hockey club in their playoff push here as the Wheat Kings trying to make the playoffs for the 6th straight year and the 13th time in the last 14 seasons.
Well, the Wheat Kings have 3 games left after tonight. They're at Swift Current. They play at home to Regina, and they play at Moose Jaw. The Prince Albert Raiders, trailing them by 5 points, play at home to Regina. They're at Saskatoon, and then at home to Saskatoon. So Brandon right now certainly in the driver's seat.
And with Saskatoon playing PA next week, do you think Brandon will be cheering pretty hard for them on those nights?
You figure?
I think they'll turn into Blades fans right away. Tonight they're not. Those Brandon fans watching back in Brandon, I'm sure a little disappointed with the score right now, 4-1, after an exciting shootout victory last night. But junior hockey, lots of time to go. We're only in the 2nd period. See what happens. Here's a Brandon chance. Turnaround shot. They score. Cue the comeback. Topilko scoring the goal. Turning and shooting up high. That's 4-2.
Well, they get the puck to Topilko in front of the net. It, you know, really catches Kubotkin, I think, by surprise. Khudobin not sure that this spin around play is going to happen. That's a good job of controlling the puck, turning. And you know what? Topilko has that puck in the perfect position relative to his feet. Look, you know what? It's not the easiest thing all the time to have that puck in a good position in your body to shoot it. We saw earlier Setoguchi go in and fan on a shot, Dan. Remember that? This time, no problem for Topilko, and he makes it 4-2.
Corshane gets the first assist. Second assist going to Wickner at 12:44 of this 2nd period. So this period having a kind of familiar look from the 1st period. Saskatoon scored the first 2 goals of each period, and Brandon's come back to get 1. So the margin is 4-2 as the icing stops the play.
Topilko, we talked about him earlier. He's one of 5 first-round Bantams in the lineup as you get a look at how close this standing is. It's obvious Saskatoon's going to play Regina. You look at that. The only question is who's going to have home ice advantage, but it's that battle for that 4th and final spot that's really intriguing.
In fact, when the Blades made the playoffs, they know they're going for the 4th time in 5 years. But they've won only 1 playoff series in the last decade, Saskatoon. And against Regina over the years, I mean, this will be the 6th time they've played them. But you know what? Last time was in the year 2000. The year prior to that, you have to go to the early 90s, then the mid-80s, and the mid-70s. I mean, it's once a decade, whether you need it or not. Those teams are going to hook up.
Yeah. Renew some kind of rivalries there.
Yes.
You know, Saskatoon I thought they were on cruise control, but this is a Brandon Wheat King team that just continues pressure just like that. Dorlego and the crowd, small crowd that it is here in Winnipeg, really appreciates that. And I've said this before, Topilko makes it 4-2. What do you look for as a coach after that, Dan? Is to get a good bump-up shift. Get another good shift in the offensive zone. They did that.
They have. Just one more thought on that Regina series. You know, Regina only has 7 home ice losses all year, but 3 of them are to the Saskatoon Blades team. And with the Brier and Regina right now, Pats concluding their season on the road with a lot of games. This game 4-2 with 6 minutes to go in the 2nd period as Saskatoon's Bahinski hit the line, had it roll off his stick as he was bodied off the puck, and Day starts back. Riley Day sending it in. Courchain giving chase. There's a nice collision, except Courchain took the worst of it. And he is not up yet. Now finally the referee, Matt Kirk, who by the way is from Brandon and goes to University Law School in Victoria. The official, Matt Kirk, he blows play down, and you can see the hurt Brandon Wheat King, Corey Courchain.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you could all the way up here, Bill. We're way up high.
That's a bad leg injury, folks. Oy. Corey Courchain with won the 2004 National Aboriginal Junior Athletic Award. Very, very good player,
Yikes.
Solid guy, and that's just one heck of a collision with Todd Panchizin. Ends up with Courchain on the ice. Hey, you don't like that at all. In fact, look at that. He is in pain. Wow, that's unfortunate. No penalty on the play because it was just a collision. You know, a long ways from the boards. As you'll get a good look, this is Panchizin. He's a long way from the wall. Courchain's going to come into the picture. The collision takes place, and Courchain's still on the ice.
I think we're going to roll that now, Bill. Let's have a look.
Actually, you know, when they collide, it's almost a saw-off at who gets the better of it while they're on their feet, but it took a little while for Courchain to end up on the ice.
All right, well, we wait for Courchain and to see what happens to him. We'll take a break from Winnipeg. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Now you see Corey Courchain being helped off the ice. Very big time collision, but you know, both of these teams, great leadership behind the bench. And as said before, as you see the coaching staff of the Brandon Wheat Kings, there's Kelly McCrimmon. Hey Dan, how the game has changed. You know, last year his Wheat King team was considered explosive. They had 255 goals scored. That was last year for McCrimmon. The team Kelly played for in Brandon in '79 scored 491 goals. That's 236 more goals than the team that he played for. We talked about this earlier. Cam Neely night last night in Vancouver. They did a great job honoring Cam Neely. He used to play for the Portland Winterhawks. He played on a Winterhawk team that had 700-point men in '82-'83.
Can't even imagine it.
Well, there were 2 in the whole league last year. Nigel Dawes and Eric Fair for this Brandon Wheat King team.
Lenoski going in hard, turning. Oh, he couldn't get the shot away. That was a good, promising chance here for Lenoski, but he lost the handle. Now another Wheat King is slow to get up as Caboden makes the save on a long shot. Ryan Reeves was hit away from the play as the icing stops the play, and Reeves very slow to go over to the bench. The Courchain injury, I mean, I just hope it's not serious this close to playoff time, Bill.
Yeah, they ill afford to lose him. Zdeněk Bohanski, New York Ranger draft. This guy, #1 CHL overall pick in the '04 draft. Now that's not WHL, that's Canadian Hockey League, the import draft. 55 teams, and the #1 overall pick playing right here in Saskatoon, doing a pretty good job. He's another one of those New York Ranger prospects I think that's considered high risk. Dan Brandon Dubinsky, Portland. You like him?
Yeah.
You know, he's certainly can get a lot done. He's not the biggest guy. Nigel Dawes, Kootenay Ice.
Watch Setoguchi here on this rush. Setoguchi shot. Oh, nice defensive play there by Dustin Cone. Stayed with Setoguchi. Setoguchi coming up with the loose puck again. Now it's thrown in front. Oh, shot saved by goalkeeper Jory. McRae tested, and now we've got some testiness after the whistle. Well, after Courchain was hurt, Reeves was shaken up a little bit on a hit away from the puck, and now we have this with 4.5 minutes to go in the period.
This is Justin McRae doing a very good job of getting the puck to the front of the net. Right here, he looks up. He doesn't know exactly what he's going to give it to, but get it to the front. And that's Bohanski with a very quick redirect. A good save by Jory. Again, that's what Saskatoon is doing very, very well, getting the pucks to the front of the net. Takes a lot of defensive play to box out properly. The key is you've got to box out. You can't knock guys around now, Dan. You can't put guys on the floor simply because your arm's got to go up and you're going to get a penalty called on you. So you got to play that real good positional game.
2 Blades in the box and 1 Wheat King. This all happens at 15:33. And so Saskatoon will be shorthanded. But you know what? They don't mind being shorthanded. They've scored, are you ready for this? 23 shorthanded goals this season. 23 shorthanded goals, and Rabbit has 8 of them.
That is impressive. But I'll tell you, they also hold the record for the most shorthanded goals in one period.
Well, what?
5. I mean, can you imagine?
5 in a period.
Saskatoon Blades had 5 shorthanded goals in a period. I mean,
wow.
It's hard. It's hard. I know we talk about the game changing, but you know, Rabbit's not out there at this point. But you're right. Absolutely, every time that he's on the ice, he's a threat to score while killing a penalty.
He'll be out soon. Don't worry. He just finished that shift.
Well, you know what they do? They put him out on the second penalty kill, so you're getting the second power play. It makes it maybe a little easier.
BURKI coming off the boards, couldn't get a shot away. That was a good block at the side of the net by Klassen. Now the puck is in front for BURKI, couldn't knock it down. Derlego out to the blue line. So Wheat Kings move it around here. Clark trying to get it in front. Another Wheat King is flattened. And the fans complain here as a bunch of Brandon players have been going down here in the last few minutes. Now shorthanded, here comes McCray. Heads to the bench after shooting that. Day has it now. He'll start out with a minute to go on the power play. 3.5 minutes to go in the second period. 4-2 hockey game. Topilko going in hard. Threw it in front of the net. It's bouncing in the crease area. And it's swept away. Lenoski cannot hold it in at the blue line.
See what Ryan Reeves did there, Dan? I mean, he's the big guy we're talking about, the power forward in front. Just absolutely controlled the play after the rebound. He was a hard guy to move out.
Here's Boyle. Drop pass. Offside. Yeo couldn't hold it in, brought it back in. Offside on Brandon with 33 seconds to go in the power play.
And Reeves has given this Saskatoon team trouble in front of the net. That's why that little altercation there. You know, he was just flattened in front of the net, and that's what a little bit of a discussion he's having right now with the linesman. 3 minutes right on the button. 4-2 score here for Saskatoon. There's 33 seconds left in the power play. You know, for the Wheat Kings, and wouldn't they love to come out of this period, Dan, only trailing by 1, really in a game that territorially hasn't been a huge disadvantage to the Wheat Kings. The shots on goal 22-19 favoring Brandon, but the scoring chances are so much in Saskatoon favor.
The quality ones for sure.
And they got the skill to finish them off, you know, and that's really clearly evident here so far tonight.
They led 2-0 at the 8-minute mark, 2-1 after 1. They had it up to 4-1. Now it's 4-2. Saskatoon back at full strength. Brandon, we have them 1 for 5 with the man advantage. Justin McCray plays it over there for Brett Ward. Ward gets it out down the ice. Could be icing. Now we got some rough stuff behind the play as well. We're going to get more penalties. Yeah, this has got a little testy. Well, it's a second game in as many nights. That's number 1. And number 2, I think when Corshane was injured, even though it looked like a pretty even check, that seems to have got everybody a little more upset down there.
Devin SETOGUCHI, you know, the first time since 1998 that the San Jose Sharks took a player out of major junior hockey with their first pick. In '98, it was Brad Stewart from Regina. He was 3rd overall. You and I well remember who they took with their first pick in '97, Patrick Marleau. 2nd overall. You remember who was 1st in that pick?
That was Joe Thornton.
By the way, talking about trades, would anybody have thought that the Boston Bruins in 1 year would trade Sergei Samsonov and Joe Thornton?
And you know, I always feel sorry for the scouts, all that work that went into to scouting those players and getting them. But you know, that's hockey. It evolves and it happens. And so I think that's tough on the Scouts, but I think even tougher on the Scouts is on the trading deadline when all those draft picks are traded away, and you think, well, I'm out here in all these rinks all throughout Western Canada, you're trading all our picks away.
Oh, I know, and it happened. I remember when the Regina Pats were loading up for the Memorial Cup that one year, it cost them a couple real good Bantam drafts, not picks, Bantam drafts, one being Sean Bell. Everybody has followed the Western Hockey League knows the career that Sean Bell had. Also a gold medal winner, I might add, with Canada. And, you know, you're right. Scouts got to be saying, wait a minute, we worked so hard to pick them. We twisted so many arms to get them. And then you just trade them away.
Well, we have a power play here for Saskatoon. So an extra penalty being called here for BURKI as he gets 2 minutes for roughing and 2 minutes for slashing at 17:52. So Saskatoon leading by 2, go to their second power play of this hockey game. And their power play came in 8th ranked, operating at 18.2%. They working around nicely over there is Klassen, back of the net, McRae. McRae lost it as it's held in nicely, or is it? Oh, it's going to be knocked down with a high stick if they touch it. Oh, that was pretty clever. See what Klassen did there? The puck was going to be on a high stick. They didn't want to touch it, so he knocks Reeves' stick down on the puck to blow the whistle down so they don't lose more power play time.
Yeah, Chad Klassen, you know, right off the top, we highlighted him. He's from Warman. It's Saskatchewan, a little place north of Saskatoon, and they thought that as a 20-year-old coming back to that area, it'd be very, very good for him. He's a little slow to get started. And I said he was a pretty good point machine. Well, 306 games played in this league, 276 points. How do you like that? Chad Klassen, Dan, has had 8 4-point games in his career. And if he gets going on a real high pace, and he had 3 points last night in the game against the Wheat Kings, this might be a tough Saskatoon Blade team to beat this year.
Played 297 games in a Spokane uniform. Is playing his 26th tonight in the uniform of the Blades. 44 seconds to go in the power play, but it's broken up and shot down the ice once again. Anton Kudobin, Russian goalkeeper, leaving it inside net, but there's a turnover, short-handed. Here's Moore taking a shot, stop. Reeves trying to collect the rebound. He couldn't get it cleanly. And here comes Saskatoon out of their own zone. Rolling it in is Rabbit. Giving chase is Setoguchi. Rabbit going in there to try to get the puck. Lenoski trying to tie up Setoguchi. Came back to the blue line. There's Schultz. Schultz getting it back again. Over here to Logan. Threw it in front. Glove down. And the penalty's over, so it could be an outnumbered attack here. Day in over the line, shot, save, big rebound. Kudobin let it out there, and here's Day shooting and scoring. It's a 4-3 hockey game. Brandon getting to within 1 on the penalty kill, broken up at the line, and then the big rebound by Kudobin, also a factor on Day's goal.
Well, watch this play happen, folks. This is Riley Day knocking the puck down at the slot area of his own net. He knows there's not much time left. He heads up the ice. They're going to get it on the goal, and with 0.3 seconds left, this shot, the rebound comes out. Nice play in front of the net to get that puck. Again, possession, turnaround. Riley Day, who took the original shot, stays in there, goes upstairs, glove side.
How about that?
Game on.
59.7.
Back up to Hurst. The body's still warm.
Just picking up the assists here. Looks like just the 1 assist. And that will go to Brian Koch. Koch getting the assist. 1959. Day scoring the goal. That's his 6th of the season. Let's go back to WHL Central. Here again is Kevin Cady.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. And wow, a goal with 1 second remaining. How incredible is that? Talk about saving the day. Now, we've got a great intermission planned for you. We're going to talk to Ryan Reeves if he's okay. We've got a great sit-down interview with Cam Neely, an amazing guy. You're not going to want to miss it. Highlights and analysis. A few other things that we're going to keep close to the vest right now, but you won't want to miss. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching the WHL on Shaw.
Al Anderson, Source for Sports, is the #1 choice for player.
Welcome back, everybody, to WHL Central. We kick off our intermission show right now with an excellent story of embracing culture. Willard Reeves was a most outstanding player in the CFL with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and while living here in Canada, his son decided to take up the game of hockey, and he has done that very well. He's rinkside right now with Jim Toth, Ryan Reeves.
Ryan, it looks like it's tough sledding out there, but how big was that goal right at the end of the period heading into the third?
You know, we got down early in the second, and we've been battling the whole time. And, you know, it's a big goal. We got momentum going into the third now. Getting down 1 goal, and it should be an exciting third period.
You guys got to pull it out. You guys are so far only 1 loss in this building. Like to play here?
Oh, yeah, it's, you know, it's still our home ice, even though we're not in Brandon. But, yeah, the fans are good, and we're doing good.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. Good luck in the third period.
Thanks.
Ryan Reeves, who only trail with the Wheat Kings 4-3. You can go ahead, Ryan, here. Now back to WHL Central and Kevin Cady.
Thanks a lot, Jim. I wonder if Willard actually ever strapped on a pair of skates. Anyways, last night in in Vancouver, 11,000 fans turned out to honor Cam Neely, who is from Maple Ridge in the Lower Mainland. They hoisted his jersey to the rafters, and it was just a great, great evening. Now, when you get a chance to sit down with a Hockey Hall of Famer of Cam Neely's stature, well, you put your best man on it. So let's join our Kevin Cady and Cam Neely. Cam, the first time you stepped in this building as a member of the Canucks, you were 18 years old. When you're walking around in here today, you get a sense of that kid?
It's amazing walking from the Vancouver Giants office, which used to be the Canucks office, down the stairs to this spot here. Really brought back a lot of memories, especially, you know, 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm a young kid back then. I was living in a dream world. Really had no idea what I was doing. I mean, 2 years prior, I was playing midget hockey in Maple Ridge, and I ended up getting drafted by the Canucks, and it was just quite an exciting time for myself and my family. And ended up playing here as an 18-year-old, which was pretty special. You dream about playing in the NHL, and I was doing it, so it was pretty special.
And as the years go by, you're playing in Vancouver, your game is improving, you're adapting to the league. All of a sudden, you get the call, and you're off to Boston. It's got to be a bit of a low for you.
Yeah, it was. I really didn't know how to handle that news. I was really shocked. I certainly wasn't expected to be traded. I wasn't really all that happy with the way I played my third year, and a lot of it had to do with I didn't really get a lot of ice time. I think I played more in my rookie year than my third year, and get traded to a team like Boston, which was much more successful than the Canucks were, and I was saying, man, if I can't play here, how am I going to play there? So that was kind of going through my head the first few days after that trade.
So you're wondering how you're going to play in Boston, which is a franchise with a great tradition, some great players, and I guess then you find out Oates, Juno, Bork, Janny. That's how you're going to play in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a guy like Bork. When I first got there, he's won the Norris Trophy. He got plus. I mean, Bobby Orr was in and out of the locker room. Derek Sanderson was in and out of the locker room. John Busick was still involved with the team. Aside from the current guys that were playing, there was all these other guys that were always around, which was extremely special to be in the locker room that those guys played in.
You were a physical player, pretty much your whole career. You were physical in Boston. People say the definition of the power forward, but you started scoring in bunches when you got to Boston. What happened?
Just had an opportunity. I was given an opportunity. I took advantage of it, and I played with the top players on the team right away at training camp. They said, okay, I'm sure in the mindset was, let's see what this kid can do. And confidence grew from that. So, I was given an opportunity on the power play. I was given an opportunity on a regular shift on the top line. I really had a much more of an opportunity to show what I could do in Boston than I did here.
New generation of young kids coming through every year. How does it feel that they want you to be a part of this?
I've known Ron Toigo for a few years now, and when he called me up and said that they'd like to honor me in this way, I thought it was really a nice thing, obviously, to get back to the Vancouver area, to do it in a building where I started my NHL career, and obviously the Western Hockey League where I played junior hockey. So, you know, it's going to be it's exciting. I have my sisters coming in from Maple Ridge, and my nephews are going to be here. So it's going to be a fun night.
Well, you enjoy the night. I know the house is going to be packed, and that's in a large part because people respect you even here, even though you did some damage against the Canucks during your career.
Well, thank you. I've always had a lot of support from people from this area, so it's nice to see a lot of them again.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cam Neely, just an outstanding guy, and if you want to ever get a lesson on inspiration and determination, just take a look at his career and how he battled through injuries to become a dominant player. But we've got to pay some attention to our sponsors because they're the ones who get this all done. Let's hear from them now, and we'll be back with lots more WHL hockey right here on Shaw.
Boston Pizza Sports Bar.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to WHL Central, the hub of the dub right here on Shaw TV. I'm Kevin Cady. Now, we spoke to you a little bit earlier on about a game last night between Vancouver and Kamloops, and I want to go over this with you because there's some valuable lesson for coaches and young players and fans in this next little bit that we've prepared for you. But let me set the stage. First of all, Kamloops is playing Vancouver. Kamloops is in a fight for their playoff lives. They trail Prince George and they need to make up ground. They have a shot, but they got to win out. The game is a very physical one. There's a lot of fights. Everybody is being aggressive, and that's okay. It was as it should be. Then the game was tied 2-2 in the third, and you could see that Kamloops was calming down because they desperately wanted to get away with the point. And as the period progressed, the score remained 2-2 until, with 3 minutes to go, the play is in Vancouver's end. And let's just take a look at this, and I'll talk you through it. The Blazers clear it in. Dustin Slade comes out to play it, and he is just flattened by Terrence Delorande. Now, Terrence Delorande is a tough guy with the Blazers. And, you know, he is not known to be someone who would try to intentionally injure another player. But he definitely saw the opportunity to run Slade, and he took it. Now, Slade stayed on the ice. His teammates were ready to just lose it. But Coach Don Hay, to his credit, managed to get a hold of his teammates, managed to get a hold of his players, bring them back to the bench, and things calmed down. So, as a result, Delorande does not even get a match penalty. He gets a 2-minute penalty. But the Giants end up on the power play. Slade leaves the ice. He's just shaken up and he'll be okay. But on the ensuing power play, watch what happens. As we roll this, and you'll see the Giants awesome on the power play all season. Franson over to Albers, and there it goes. The Giants go on. A couple of minutes left in the game. Franson, Albers, these guys are deadly on the power play. They are number 2 and number 3 in defensive scoring, number 1 and number 2 in goals by defensemen on the power play, and you just do not put a pair of guys like that, give them an opportunity to beat you. Now, Prince George had been stomped by Everett earlier on in the evening, and Kamloops had the point in the bag. Instead, their playoff pitcher looks very, very grim. So there's a time and a place to be physical, and then there's a time and a place to keep your cool. Let's go back down to Winnipeg and check in with Bill and Dan. Guys?
Well, thanks very much. You know, we were saying with about 8 minutes to go, what is it about junior hockey? 8 minutes to go in the second period. It was 4-1 at that time. Saskatoon looks in full control, but you just never know.
Yeah, you really don't. I mean, it started actually at the end of the first period. Brandon scores late in the period. You think they got a lift to go into the second period. Not so. First goal early in the period, Saskatoon Blades. Watch what happens. We'll show you. This is a good job that WACEY Rabbit does in handling the puck. But he's the guy on the far left of your screen. That's 20 blue. But watch the center of the screen. That's McRae skating through. That creates that big space, and WACEY Rabbit puts a perfect pass on Chad Clausen's stick, and he just redirects it past the goaltender. So that comes 49 seconds into the period.
Right.
But that makes it 3-1. They get another one to make it 4-1. And as you said, Dan, how about late in the period? You want a goal with a half a second left?
A buzzer beater?
A buzzer beater. Dave blocks the shot. This guy played in the Memorial Cup 2 years ago.
Yes, he did.
That's a shot. Kauk gets a rebound, but you know what Day does? He stays right in the slot, turns, waits. Nobody comes out to check him. Upstairs over the glove. That makes it 4-3. We got 20 minutes left.
Right, and we thought, as Bill mentioned, that the late first period goal would give Brandon the lift. Saskatoon came back very strong, but I gotta believe that's a momentum shifter. It could well be. There is some concern about Courchain, though. He went down in that period.
He went down in a heap. That was a bad-looking injury. He was down for a long time, and you can tell when a player's lying on the ice, the agony and the pain he might be in. But you know what? They're 5 points ahead of Prince Albert, the Brandon Wheat Kings. They're 1 goal behind the Saskatoon Hockey Club. Dan, I gotta believe they gotta regroup and come out hard in the third period. Try to get this game back to even. There's still a lot on the line. I'd be positive 4-3 will not end this hockey game. There'll be another goal scored this period.
Just a short period of time to go here. By the way, if Brandon does get the last playoff spot, they'll play Moose Jaw. Last year, Moose Jaw and Brandon played, but it was reversed. Brandon was the #1 team, and the Warriors were #4. Let's go to the summary now of the period. And as you look at the scoring in that period, Klassen scoring early with 19:11 left on the clock.
Yeah, he scored at 49 seconds is actually the time of that.
Right, and then at 5:43, it was the Setoguchi goal, and you can see those 2 late ones. At 0.3, that's right at the buzzer there. And the shots on goal through 2 periods, 25 for Brandon and 19 for Saskatoon. So we've got a 1-goal hockey game, and we hope you stay with us. Live from downtown Winnipeg, you're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Welcome back to downtown Winnipeg. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms on this Saturday night on Shaw. In this Eastern Division battle between the 2nd place Saskatoon Blades, the 4th place Brandon Wheat Kings. And it's a 1-goal game, the 10th and final meeting of the year. The Blades have dominated. They won the first 8 games last night in Brandon. The Wheat Kings won 4-3 in the shootout. Goals for this year in the season series. Right now, 46 for Saskatoon and 21 for Brandon. But here are the Wheat Kings, as we documented not too long ago, just down by 1 goal. As we start this period, the teams are at full strength. Brandon in the white uniforms shooting the puck into Saskatoon territory, and here we go with the start of the period. Kaut going in, so in front, they score! How about that? You score with less than a second to go in the second period, and 10 seconds into this period, it's all tied 4-4.
Face-off, center ice. You've just scored with a half a second left. What's the job to do? You want to get the puck in deep. Here's the opening face-off of the period. Watch it happen. Enjoy it, because this is as good as it gets in terms of opening the scoring. You can't do it a whole lot faster than this. In deep, get that puck to the front of the net. You know, I love the way they went hard in there to forecheck. They moved as quick as their feet would carry them. They got it to the front, and they got it in the net.
Cody BURKI is 25th goal of the season. St. Louis Blues draft pick, scoring a big one. Well, I don't know many goals where you see 2 goals 10 seconds apart in 2 different periods.
Watch it off the face-off, folks. All right, get it in deep. Look at him chase in after it. You got a defenseman looking over his shoulder, Joe Logan, wondering if he's going to get hit. That was rule number 1. Brian Kelk makes the play, gets it to the front. Celebration is on. Well, it's been a weird game, folks, but junior hockey can be weird. What's the one thing I say? It's the most predictable thing about junior hockey in the Western Hockey League is its unpredictability.
And that's what makes it so fun to watch.
That's why millions of people, a couple million every year, watch this product. It is so exciting. You never know what's going to happen. There's a lot of teams that won't come out in the National Hockey League, Dan, the way the Brandon Wheat Kings did on that first shift.
Now,
they just came out and dumped that puck in, chased it, got it to the front.
For some reason, there's some discussion, though. The referee's been over to talk to Kelly McCrimmon. The goal's not up yet. Now, what's going on here? We'll sort it out when we come back. It's the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Here's a word from our sponsor.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
It's unpredictable junior hockey. How unpredictable? We think we saw a goal 10 seconds in.
Oh, I actually saw it go in the net.
We did see it go in the net, but a referee facing off back at center. Guess what?
We're
Folks,
doing it
you're not
again?
going to believe it.
It's a do-over?
It's a do-over. There's 20 minutes left on the clock. No goal. I mean, I thought I'd seen just about everything in this league. That one, that one beats me.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened if I ever get a moment. And it's very, very simple. And the referees made the right call.
Wrong lineup on the ice, or what's going on?
CODEY BURKI got a 4-minute penalty at 17:52 of the second period.
So
you add 4 minutes to that, and he's still got time to serve. You know, you could do a lot of things in hockey, but scoring from the penalty box, I think that's pretty much impossible.
You got to have one heckish long stick.
I mean, that's unbelievable. How can that happen? You and I have done what?
600, 700?
I mean, we've done hundreds of games. We've never seen that before. They started a period. BURKI, I don't know why he's on the ice. Nobody notices it. And what are the odds of him actually scoring the goal 10 seconds in? Everybody going nuts.
That's literally a do-over.
And we have a do-over.
I tell you, it was almost a do-over there. Pickle almost got it past the goaltender.
Not many things that surprise me, but I gotta believe that one's gonna be right up there on the list for a while. I might talk about that one on radio for quite some time in the future.
Yeah, Sports Talk in Vancouver's gonna hear that one, I'm sure.
Oh, I can't wait to relay this story.
Well, it's certainly a break for the Saskatoon Blades and their coaching staff, but he should be out there.
25th goal of the year for him.
Yeah, no kidding.
I wrote it down and everything. Getting more of a kick out of it than the Wheat Kings are, I'm sure. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when you look at it, how BURKI didn't know he had to be in the box and how everybody let him start the period is kind of amazing all in itself. All right. Puck back of the net. Derlego can't get his stick on it. And it comes around these near boards. Here comes Klassen. Fired in wide. Goes all the way around the boards out to center ice. Talk about a premature celebration.
Well, and I'm all over it as being.
Well, it was a good goal.
Junior hockey at his best. It was actually junior hockey at his worst.
Well, all in the same play, I think, best and worst.
Anyway, play on.
I thought Kauk did a very nice job making that loose puck back of the net. Okay, let's see what Brandon can do here with Moore coming off the boards. Here's a chance for Moore. He shoots it up high. Boy, they like to go up high on Khudobin. That's too high, though, that time.
That's a good job by TEEGAN Moore. Come off the wall, get it high in the slot area. This is what I'm, been interested to see. How does the Saskatoon Blades come out of their own zone with that basically a do-over defense that they've created at the trade deadline? These are the plays right in here right now that guys like Brad Cole, well, you get a lot of room to move up because of Wheat Kings on a line change. But even there, good job of Wickner to keep it in.
Absolutely. And he has the puck right now. He tries to get by Cole, reach behind him to get the puck. Now Herb sends it behind the goal. Cole Hunter battling for it. Now it comes back to Lenoski, moving in, shoots. Oh, and a blocker saved by Khudobin. Blades jump on the puck. Long pass up for McAngus. He puts it in and heads to the bench on a line change. 3:10 to go, or 3:10 gone here rather, in the third period. Redirected back into Blade territory, Khudobin. By the way, Khudobin in net, one of 5 different goalkeepers this year. Saskatoon's had 5 different goalies suit up at various times this year. Over there on the far side is Darryl Boyle from Lethbridge. Puck goes in, but he wasn't on his, he didn't get to the red line, and so the faceoff will come back on the offside.
The thing about Dustin Kahn is his shot isn't the hardest in the league, but the key is that you got to get it on the net. and he's very, very good at the transition play. And what that means is, you know, the puck is turned over and you're basically going on the attack from a defensive position. And the key there is to make a quick decision. Do I carry it or do I pass it right away? And Con has been pretty good at that. I talked to a lot of scouts about him as well. He was watched very, very closely last year. Oh, there's a good play coming off the wall.
SETOGUCHI, now Barnes on the rebound, and that's stopped by Jory, the goalkeeper, and he holds on to stop the play. SETOGUCHI came off the boards, and then Barnes went to the net, and Jory holding it out.
Yeah, Devin SETOGUCHI got the good wheels coming off the wall, right to the right of the goaltender, gets it in the slot area. You know, SETOGUCHI had the hardest shot in the CHL Prospects skills competition last year, 96 miles per hour. And how do you like to have good wheels, a big slapper, good hands, excellent intensity? I think San Jose got themselves a pretty good hockey player.
SETOGUCHI has 34 goals this year. Last year he had 33, so he has surpassed his career high. Well, there's a good back-checking hit there as the SETOGUCHI just ran over his man. Now another blade runs over BURKI. BURKI gets up. He's mad about that. He gets into Barnes' face. Schultz in there as well. There's Derlego. BURKI 23 with his helmet off. Barnes 9 with his helmet off. Linesmen all trying to get in there.
Bunch of roosters in here puffing up. Hey, that's what those scrums are all about. You know, I'm tougher than you are.
Well, BURKI's got to be a little ticked.
Well, you know, frankly, I think there's been a ton of Brandon Wheat Kings go down on the ice tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, one very seriously. Corshane had to be helped off. Ryan Reeves was down a couple times. BURKI headed to the box. There'll be, I'm sure, coincidental penalties. You know, Cody BURKI's been all over people's scouting list. Listen to this. Central Scouting has him at 26.
Yeah.
International Scouting has him at 50.
Mm-hmm.
Then they dropped him to 28. Another scouting service has him at 74. I mean, they just don't know how they stand on him. Cody BURKI with a late birthday. That means that if your birthday falls after September 15th in your draft year, you go to the next draft year. But he's a big kid, 6'1", 193, right here from Winnipeg.
Extra minors on the board for Saskatoon here. Looks like Brandon might get a power play, but we'll wait to see here. Saskatoon leading 4-3 early in the third period.
Good job of crowds coming out in Brandon. They had, I believe, 4,000 something last night, Dan. They've averaged crowds in Brandon this year, 3,200. And good for you, all you Brandon fans. You've got a team here that was, for all intents and purposes, came out of the chute really terrible. I said earlier, 11 games under 500 on November 25th, and they turned the corner in 06, and out of 35 games, 33 games now, they've only lost 11. Really, really done a nice job.
Extra minor, so Brandon on their 5th power play of the night. They're 1 for 4 with the man advantage, looking to tie things up here. Let's see if they can. They have Darryl Boyle going deep back at the goal. He got it over to Moore. Moore trying to throw it in front. Reeves on his backhand, back of the net, hit the referee. Now Cole battling for Saskatoon, but he couldn't come up with it. Reeves does. Reeves plays it back here to Boyle. Long shot from the right point. That was Cone taking the shot. Turned aside by Kudobin. Cole playing it back of his own goal for Saskatoon. They switch it to the other side. Ward can't get it out, though. Held in nicely. Here's Reeves looking for somebody in front. Comes back to Cone over here. It goes to Boyle. And centering pass from Moore. His shot is stopped, and the rebound is put aside. To Pilko at the blue line. Long shot. Stop. As the net comes off its support. And we'll get a face-off down in the Saskatoon zone.
Anton Kudobin happy to stand his ground. A lot of pressure by the Wheaties. You like that. Move in. Lots of traffic in front of the net. Get a chance to see if Tegan Moore can get away from being checked in front. Good possession. Lots of time left. The only 1 minute gone of this power play. See what the Wheat Kings can get it back again. Riley Day with a chance. See, that's good. That's good gap control. And even a better decision to go up the ice.
Short-handed Behensky cutting in, and his shot goes. A shot or a hard pass going wide of the net.
You can see why Racy Rabbit is so good in so many shorthanded goals. Did you see what play he made at the blue line there? He got right in the face of the puck carrier and forced him into a quick decision.
Right, and now a face-off stopping the play. The second unit power play out there. The first unit actually did, I was calling him Reeves, but it was actually Topilko back to the net, number 28, making a couple of those plays from back at the goal. I thought the first unit power play looked pretty good. They had good puck control there.
Yeah, they did. They just didn't get any glorious chances. That's all. WACEY Rabbit, a lot of people wonder, how do you get a name like that? He was named after his parents' favorite bull rider, and they thought that's maybe the direction WACEY would go, but he discovered hockey, and he said goodbye to bulls. You know, one of his fondest hockey memories, he says, is scoring a breakaway goal at 3 years old. And, you know, anybody that's played this game knows it can be very addictive very, very quickly. Moving around, flying around on the ice, chasing a little black puck, making plays with it. It's a ton of fun.
Here's Clark now dishing it off. Cone dumping it back of the net to Pilko, trying to throw it in front. That's Boyle dumping it back to the net. Derlego has it. Saskatoon's at full strength here. To Pilko, back of the goal. Trying to come out of the end boards with the puck, or from the end boards was Clark, but knocked off his stick. Brandon 1 for 5 with the power play tonight, trailing 4-3 with 13:40 to go in this third period.
David Schultz of the Saskatoon Blades, playing for a contract, an 04 draft, 8th round by Vancouver. And you know, anytime you're in that contract year, Dan, you've got to be very, very good. You've got to be very consistent. And really, I mean, I don't say this facetiously, you can't really have any bad hair days. You just, I mean, you're under the scrutiny. And ideal is the enemy of the good all the time. And you may be a pretty good defenseman, but if you're playing for a big contract, you better be a little bit special. And Schultz is trying to get that kind of year here in Saskatoon. Playoffs would go a long way in making that difference, wouldn't it?
Absolutely right. Saskatoon holding the puck in here. The puck has not been down here too much. Kind of funny game, as Bill was mentioning earlier. And for a while there, it looked like Saskatoon might run away and hide in this game.
Well, they seem to go a little bit on cruise control, and then they find, well, we need to make something happen, and all of a sudden the big guns get going, and the Classens, the Barnes, the Setoguchis, the Rabbits start moving, and then all of a sudden they say, well, we'll take a little breather, and you're pretty good if you can do that.
And those around the team say that, you know, that is what I think caused the coach Lauren Mulliken to have what they call a firestorm talk. They came late in February. Since then, they've really gone unbeaten in 6, but you know, they've had those stretches, those who, at least the people I've talked to, have followed this team on a day-to-day basis. But they've got a lot of skill on this team too.
Yeah, they really do. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better group of forwards than that group going right in the bench there, and none better prospect than 18 blue Colton Gillies. Wow, I just really think he's an outstanding player. And unfortunately, one of the players not dressed tonight for the Brandon Wheat Kings is their big prospect player that was taken 11th in that same draft that Colton Gillies went, and that's Keith Awley. He's a big, good-looking young defenseman here in Brandon. Not in the lineup tonight.
Wheat Kings on the forecheck right now. Reeves in there. Number 27 on the far boards is Andrew Clark. Stick being held out a little bit. Brett Ward for Saskatoon got it to the line and out. It's bouncing out here in the center ice area. The Blades pick it up, at least for a moment. Chop back to their line. And this is Brad Cole. Cole gets it back again. Now lots of room to move it. Gets it to Klassen. Klassen plays it to Cloud, who sends it in deep. There's a check on Boyle, but he dished the puck. Ooh, and look at the Saskatoon player go running into the boards as the check was sidestepped. Moore just got out of the way of Cloud. And here comes Brandon in over the line. Hunter going in hard. Oh, and he's taken out hard. Nice check by Ryan Funk. That's a good finish of your check on the end boards. Here comes Barnes back the other way. It's a 3-on-2. Barnes trying to cut to the middle, cannot. And now the net's off his support as Yo was hit. And Yo's upset, and he goes right to the Saskatoon player in the corner. Yo was upset because he feels he was hit into the net, I think by Barnes. And you can see Bahensky's in there as well. But Yo is very upset. He was ticked right from the time he went crashing into the net.
One of the reasons for this is the physical play has stepped up. Look at Ryan Funk take his man into the boards. Dan, that is the 4th hard finish check that the Blades did on the hat on that shift. And then when the puck comes back into the Brandon zone, you know, their tempers flare because nobody likes being taken out of the play like that. But that was a good hit by Funk. Funk is one of 2 16-year-olds in the lineup. You see Theron Yo in the penalty box. And again, I'm pretty sure the reason for that is, hey, we don't like getting hit. We try to answer back. And in his own zone, that's exactly what he did.
Well, he went right at Barnes in the corner. And that'll set up Saskatoon's 3rd power play. They're 0 for 2 with the man advantage. And, you know, that might be a bad penalty for Yo to take because the whistle had blown already. He just went right to the corner, took the penalty, and in a 1-goal game where you've battled back all night, you don't want to take a foolish penalty to get your team out of it.
Yeah, power play for Saskatoon comes into tonight's game in 8th spot.
And Brandon's PK, just like their power play, dead last.
Look at that, 16-year-old Funk on the ice, quarterbacking, or not quarterbacking, but certainly on the point on the power play.
McRae couldn't handle it cleanly, so it's sent down the ice. Godobin out of his net. He'll leave it for Zdeněk Bahinski, 2nd-year player from the Czech Republic. Now it's Ryan Funk, where Bill just talked about, from Morden here in Manitoba. Played around the wall by the Wheat Kings, and out it goes once again. So far, the Blades power play unable to do anything. Bahinski, lead pass. Here's Justin McRae trying to go around Cone. Does. McRae plays it back to the net. Klassen now in the corner. Klassen back towards McRae. Cone kicking at the puck for Brandon. Boyle's in there as well. Puck squirts free. Nice pass. Comes back towards Funk. Funk puts it back to the net. Now it's Klassen to McRae. Boyle checking him. Good job by Boyle on this PK. Cone fans on it. Barnes can't send it in front. Klassen again has the puck. Plays it to the line, but it's a poor pass. He was being checked, so you can't do much about the pass, but Bahinski has to go all the way back to collect it. About a half minute remaining on this power play. Here they come in again. But only for a moment. Sent down the ice.
Shots on goal still favoring Brandon, 31-22, but the number that means most up there is the 4 goals the Blades have scored and the 3 that the Wheat Kings have scored. Well, they've scored a 4th one, but
yeah,
it came illegally.
Under bizarre circumstances, to say the least. All right, SETOGUCHI back to the line. A high shot sailing over top the net, taken by Joe Logan. Brandon getting it, shooting it down the ice. Just over 9 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. In comes Colton Gillies. He's eliminated, but not before he got the puck back of the net. It's held in. Here's a long shot from the blue line, taken by Ward and taken in the chest by Jory. And we go to break with Saskatoon leading 4-3. It's the WHL on Shaw.
Boston Pizza is a great place to bring the entire family. Mind if I join you? Hello?
Brandon Wheat Kings very familiar with 1-goal games, Dan. They've played 33 1-goal games this year. They've won 13 of those and lost 20 times. So again, with a less experienced team, you have to learn to win those 1-goal games. Well, they're in a 1-goal game right now with 8:52 left in the 3rd period, trailing Saskatoon 4-3.
And let me tell you, these teams know a little bit about playing extra. Combined, they've played in 33 overtime games. Seems every night that we're looking at the scores, one of these 2 teams is going to overtime or the shootout, or both. Lots of bonus hockey here in the Eastern Division this year. Derlego trying to go in hard, but taken out nicely by Cole. Puck goes to the far side, and the Wheat Kings, or rather the Blades, come back strong. Another check in the corner. Sitko, number 17 for Saskatoon. along with McAngus, trying to get that puck in front. If they do, there was Cloud standing at the side of the net. They couldn't get him the puck. Ends up behind the goal of Cloud. Cloud dishes it off. And the Wheat Kings clear it off the glass out to the neutral zone. Here's Schultz, almost stripped of the puck. In fact, he was. Jumping on the puck is Dittmer. Sharp angle. Dittmer checked off the puck. Gets it back again. Dittmer trying to get a little skating room. Could not. And it's now controlled by Schultz on the boards. He's checked. Battle for the puck. Blades able to pick it up. And they get some skating room on this side. Able to shoot it in. On the far boards there is Darryl Boyle as Saskatoon makes a change. His long pass for Dittmer. Dittmer lifts it up high. Bouncing in the deep slot. Nothing but blades around it though. Cohn picks it up, shoots it back in again. Just over 7 minutes remaining in this third period. 2-1 Saskatoon after 1, 4-3 after 2. That's where we continue to sit. Klassen on the left for McRae. In front of the net, here's a chance, and they put it just wide of the net. Oh, Rabbit had a great chance. Waited, and then just put it wide. And Rabbit, that's the guy who can really put the puck in the net. He'll be shaking his head, missing that chance.
This is a good effort here by the Blades as they come into the Brandon zone. A nice job of taking it wide, getting it to the front of the net. And I think the puck went off his stick, missed the net. We've got a score here. Swift Current leading Prince Albert 5-4. So that's obviously a score that the Wheat Kings will be interested in.
Now Cohn has possession of the puck. But it's offside at the blue line, so we'll get a face-off in the neutral zone.
2 one-goal games. Prince Albert losing by 1 right now. The Brandon Wheat Kings losing by 1, and obviously those are the two teams that are battling for that final playoff spot. Both playing their 69th games, and the Wheat Kings with a 5-point lead.
All right, here come the Blades in over the blue line. So Setoguchi rather. Now for Barnes. Barnes back at the net for Setoguchi. There's a pass in front of the net, intercepted, and Boyle will start back the other way. Darryl Boyle for Brandon, hitting the line. Throwing it in front. There's a good hard pass, but Coke just can't quite handle it. There's a wraparound attempt, and either Kodobin got a piece of it or it just went out the other side. But for a moment there, it looked like the Wheat Kings had the 4-all goal because Kodobin, I don't believe, got over there all that quick, but just at the very end might have blocked that shot.
Yeah, Brian Kalk has played very, very well. Joe Barnes did not decide to opt into the draft last year because of a pretty serious neck injury. And, you know, you players are not in the draft unless their agents tell them to opt in. He didn't do that, took his chance on getting drafted the last draft, and Carolina felt that he was too good a player, much too good a player, to pass up, and grabbed him when he became available in the 3rd round.
Now Lenoski has it for Reeves. Reeves. Now Dittmer. Dittmer taken out nicely there. That was a good hit by Ward. Long shot right on Kodobin, and he holds on to stop the play. Is a little bit of slashing out at the line after Day took that shot.
Anton Kodobin's record against the Brandon Wheat Kings is 4-0-0-1. And you know, he comes into tonight's game with a 93.3 save percentage against the Wheat Kings, and he's given up a couple goals here tonight, a couple weird goals, if I may say, but be that as it may, the most important thing is this team's winning. Brandon trying to put some pressure on. They're down to the 5-minute mark pretty much here, and you know, it's a question of dominating on the forecheck, getting a couple more good scoring chances. See if you can get one back. Topilko in a battle there, but you know, there's again a battle that the Saskatoon Blades win.
Now Icing stopping the play. The shots at this point 32-23 in favor of Brandon.
Jeff Topilko from Vegreville, Alberta. You know, the biggest goal I believe he scored in his career was the overtime winner last year, Game 7, versus Prince Albert in the Eastern Conference Final. And, you know, regardless of what happens in that young man's future career, he'll never, ever forget the celebration, I'm sure, that took place when that happened.
Cloud from back of the net. McCauley trying to come off the boards, cannot, comes back to Schultz, long shot, knocked down, and Cone guides it out of harm's way. 4.5 minutes to go in this third period as BURKI brings it in over the line. BURKI shot, that goes wide of the goal. Puck goes back to the net. It's turned over. Derlego gets it for a moment but can't control it cleanly. He'll try again. Derlego trying to fight for some real estate here. He gets a little bit of it, but now McRae's on him. Derlego working hard. Shot from the sharp angle off the side of the net. That shot was taken by Brian Kauk. Now Godobin pokes that puck free, and with under 4 minutes to go, the Blades get it out to center ice. Long pass to the open wing. Everybody trying to get out of the way to avoid the too many men on the ice. Now Dittmer picks up a loose puck as Saskatoon turned it over ever so briefly. It's still loose. Reeves goes in. Reeves plays the back of the net. Dittmer has it. Dittmer trying to get it in front for Moore. Comes back to Lenoski.
Again, see him close a gap on him?
Yes.
That's the key. That's just a terrific job of Behensky, recognizing you got to get in his face.
Shot by Reeves. Big rebound. Still sitting there. Reeves again. Shot. Oh, and it goes over top the net. There's going to be a penalty. Delayed penalty as Yo holds the puck. Yo gets it down low. Dittmer throws it in front. Goes off the target. Blades touch it. And with 3:09 to go in the third period, Brandon is going to go to yet another power play.
Well, this is a kind of action that the Brandon Wheat Kings would love to have in front of the net. Keep that puck in, crash the net, crash the goaltender if you have to. Very, very good job of Tyler Dittmer getting in the face of the goaltender. And, you know, on the play up the ice there, that's a penalty call. Now, 2 minutes up on the clock for Brad Cole for Saskatoon. 3:09 left in the third period. This is a terrific opportunity for the Wheat Kings.
Face off, BURKI winning the draw cleanly. Comes back to Cone at the blue line. Cone dishes it off to Pilko. Or BURKI rather, on the give and go with Pilko, and he got the puck back again, but it rolled off his stick and they have to go all the way back in their own zone to collect the puck.
Now, my friends, WACEY Rabbit is out on the first penalty kill.
Lead pass up for Derlego. Went off his stick. Puck is loose. BURKI can't get it. It's swept away and down the ice.
Did you see the pass hit Derlego's stick and bounce right off? You know, we talk about soft hands, Dan. You know, most times you think about soft hands for shooting the puck. Soft hands got to receive passes. And if any of these kids ever think about playing in the National Hockey League, those guys put passes on the stick with crispness. You've got to have soft hands.
Derlego with the puck. Derlego over here to Cone. Cone sidestepping a check to McRae, but he has to go back as McRae did a good enough job to force him back. Shot in by Day. Around the horn it goes on the far side. McRae gets it, dishes it back. That's Price sending it the length of the ice. We hit the 2-minute warning here. 2 minutes to go in the third period. 45 seconds to go in the power play.
1:53 left. Now, I'm wondering if the goaltender, Jory, may get pulled, and if Kelly McCrimmon has any decision to put him out there. He's still got a half a minute on the power play.
Yeah, it could be a two-man advantage
exactly
if he gambled, but maybe he's thinking, I'll stay on the full one-man advantage for the rest of the hockey game. I'll get him out when the power play's over if I need to. Here's a shot from a bit of a sharp angle. It deflects off the target. Now here's to Pilko off the backboards. He dishes it off. Dittmer has the puck. Moore's in front. Back of the net to Pilko. Moore. Day has trouble with it in his skates. Puck is loose. Will the Blades be able to clear it? Yes, they do. They get it down the ice. Penalty is over. Brandon is 1 for 6 with the man advantage. And here we go. Last minute to play in the hockey game. At least the third period. Can the Wheat Kings force overtime? Second game in as many nights. Last night they did get all the way to the shootout, and Brandon won it. The goalie's still in the net. Now they call him out with 47 seconds to go. Moore from back of the net. DePilko standing in front. There's the pass back to Lenoski. His shot, stop, score! It's all tied in the last minute, 4-4.
Well, there's traffic behind the net. The key job here that the Wheat Kings do is they get it back to somebody who can get it on the net. I thought the Blades did a very good job of jamming up the front of the net. So therefore the pass back to the point was the best play. And in front of the net, you have a look at Justin McCray. Watch him slam a stick right there. Oh boy, he's had himself a good game. Very, very disappointed that this goal goes in. Hey, they scored in the first 10 seconds of this period. It was disallowed. Kelly McCrimmon, his team has now scored with 40 seconds left. This one counts.
It sure does, at least so far.
Yeah.
Lenoski, point shot, and Khudobin was very mad too. Here's BURKI playing it back to the line. Long shot goes wide as they announce the Lenoski goal. Just trying to pick up the assist there. Now we're down to 13 seconds to go in the period. Brandon has come back from a 4-1 deficit in the late stages of the second period. They've outshot Saskatoon 34-23. And on the night with this comeback, I think they deserve to get to overtime, Bill.
Yeah, the crowd here loving it. Obviously playing in Winnipeg, the majority of the fans, I'm sure by far, fans of the Brandon Wheat Kings. Con's had himself a good game. Well, I tell you what I think right now, Dan. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Blades have just given up, taken the foot off the pedal of intensity. I mean, you got to play hard all game long. You just can't have no lulls, no periods during a hockey game where you take the foot off the accelerator.
Well, we said earlier these two teams have combined for 33 extra period sessions, make it 35 now, one more for each team. Saskatoon will be going to their 16th overtime game. Brandon will be going to their 19th overtime game. And more importantly for Brandon, a point gained here. What a point in the standings that is.
Well, you know, Brandon outshot Saskatoon 9-4 by my count in that period. And how can a team like Saskatoon come out and only get 4 shots in the third period? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what happened. And I think the Wheat Kings have certainly taken full advantage of that situation.
That scoring play was Lenoski from Moore and Wickner at 19:21 of the third period. And for Lenoski this year, that's his 5th goal of the season. And how do you think he likes scoring in his hometown of Winnipeg?
Not bad. What do we got? Guy eating a piece of pizza behind the bench there. Well, Brandon with a point. At least one makes it 65.
Yes.
That makes it 6 points ahead of the Prince Albert Raiders, who at last count were losing 5-4 to the Swift Current. So that, I think, is a big point. But Dan, honestly, another point here is even a bigger point as we go into overtime. 4-on-4, some of the most exciting hockey is played when teams play 4-on-4. We'll see it coming up.
There's a look at the Brandon Wheat Kings bench, and we're ready for overtime here in downtown Winnipeg. This 4-4 tie. Waiting for the Wheat Kings to get their 4th skater. It's 4-on-4 hockey.
Brandon 7-5-4 in overtime. The Blades in overtime, 4 wins and a loss.
All right, so here we go. Brandon with possession of the puck, and they lug it out. Lewis going in hard on his backhand. Lewis trying to throw it in front. That was intercepted. Ward over here on the near side.
Well, that was the first sign you're going to see defense involved. That was Mark Lewis hauling that puck up the ice. That's the key to watch here is defense. There goes Yo now.
Yo on the turnover. Drop pass for BURKI. Holding, shooting, blocked. BURKI hooked a little bit by Class, and he can't dump it in deep. Klassen takes out his man. Play on, says the ref. Klassen comes up with the puck, only for a moment. Now the puck goes up for Moore. Moore, long shot. Khudobin's going to hold on, or is he? No, he dumps it back of the net. Back of the goal. Moore has it. Dittmer trying to work it in front. Could not.
You know what I like about 4-on-4 so much, Dan? We've talked about this before. It's a puck possession game. I doubt if you see one time a team dump it in. You don't want to give up possession. That's what makes it so much fun.
Here's Barnes. He's had a strong game tonight. Barnes spinning, trying to get away from Cone. Had it for a moment, but lost it. Now Brandon makes a change. Brandon a little fortunate there because Barnes was offside.
Brandon Wheat Kings have two guys coming into tonight's game with 20+ goals. CODEY BURKI entered tonight's game with 24. Mark Darlego with 22, but you look at the SETOGUCHI's 34, Chad Klassen 24, WACEY Rabbit 27. Oh, lots of guys. Joe Barnes with 23. Those are the guys that eyes get awful big in these kind of situations.
3:15 to go in the 4-on-4. Khudobin's been fighting the puck. You know, against Brandon this year, he's been so good, but tonight he really looks like he's fighting it.
I think every shot almost, or certainly a lot of them that have hit him, he's, you know, there's been rebounds, and that's one of the biggest secrets is cushioning the puck. You know, make sure you got pillow pads. Puck's got to hit your pads and drop about 2 feet. With Khudobin tonight, you know, the puck's coming off way too far.
And believe it or not, heading into this game, Brandon had only 8 goals and 136 shots on Khudobin the last handful of games.
93% save. He was terrific.
Oh, yes. But I'm sure he's not pleased with that Lenoski goal that tied it. Maybe not some of the other ones. But anyway, we continue halfway through this 4-on-4 overtime. Cone takes the puck away from McRae, and out he comes. On the left here to Darlego. Darlego puts it back of the net. Saskatoon intercepting, goes around the boards. Logan got it out. Nice job there by Yo to kick it forward. Could they go shootout 2 straight nights, Bill?
You know, I sometimes wonder, and you know, you and I have never discussed this. You think there's ever a situation, Dan, where teams play for a shootout? What I mean by that is they know that, hey, if we get into a shootout, our snipers are better than your snipers.
Well, Saskatoon has 16 goals on 41 attempts. Brandon has 13 goals on 31 attempts. So percentage-wise, I guess Brandon would be a little bit better, but Saskatoon likes the shootout, don't they?
8 in a row. They lost one way back at the beginning of the year, then they won 8 in a row in the shootout till they lost last night in Brandon. Puck possession, Yo, all the rest of those defensemen, make sure you know where you're going with it. Don't turn it over. Once it's on your stick, you don't want to turn it over. It's a timeout. I think Brandon's making this call. It might be a pretty good call, Dan, especially with a face-off in their own zone.
And we should mention that Saskatoon picking up a point as well here. We were focused so much on 4th place.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Saskatoon,
apologize for that.
Well, I mean, they're not quite in the panic that Brandon had been in the last couple of weeks. So Saskatoon getting that point on their way seemingly to hosting the first round against the Regina Pats.
And their record this year, the Saskatoon Blades, Lorne Mulligan's Blades and the Regina Pats, are 5 wins and 3 losses for for the Blades. And Swift Current has beaten Prince Albert 5-4. It is a final.
All right, here we go on the shot on the face-off. Barnes on the rebound, and it's stopped by goalkeeper Jory. Jory's been good, by the way, since replacing Plant on the 2-0 goal early in the hockey game. Here comes Moore in over the line. Moore throwing it in front. That's intercepted by Cole, and he'll start back the other way with 1.5 minutes to go. Long pass for Barnes. It missed him. No icing. Jory plays it around the boards, and Day has it for Brandon. Long lead pass for Dittmer. Dittmer drops it pass for Moore. Moore shooting save. Dittmer can't get his stick cleanly on the rebound, gets it back to the net, threw it in front, and SETOGUCHI intercepts it. He's got speed and he's got talent. Let's see him go. SETOGUCHI winding up, faking, shooting, saved by goalkeeper Jory, and he holds on to stop the play.
Well, that was certainly a good play by SETOGUCHI on the rush, but off the face-off inside the Brandon zone, maybe a little better scoring chance. That puck was right off to the left of the goaltender. They got it on the net, and Jory had to make a couple good saves.
So here we go with a minute 3 to go in overtime.
Saw what SETOGUCHI did there. You know, he's got the big shot, that 96 mile an hour, and he tried to tee that big shot up. Well, we're into the last minute, 4-on-4.
And here they come again with Rabbit. Rabbit going hard on his backhand. Rabbit from back of the net. Cone stays with him and does a good job. Now back to the net. Rabbit again trying to work it in front. Who's going to win this battle? Rabbit just won't let go of the puck. Won't be checked. Gets it back to Cole. Save. Rebound in front of the net. And just out of the reach there of Ward. Brandon gets it out to the neutral zone. Now we have 22 seconds to go. Time for one more rush here. Bahensky. Turnover at the line. Clark starts back. Here's Lenoski. On his backhand. Throws it in front. Clark is checked. 7 seconds to go. Blades dump it out to the neutral zone, and for the second straight night in this same province doubleheader, 200 kilometers apart, thereabouts, we have a shootout between Brandon and Saskatoon. And we'll take a break before the shootout. Stay with us. It's the Western Hockey League on Shaw.
Boston Pizza WHL Hockey on Shaw is brought to you by Boston Pizza.
You're among friends at Boston Pizza.
Welcome back to downtown Winnipeg. Dan Russell with Bill Wilms on this Saturday night. And we're ready for shootout Western Hockey League action here, Bill.
Well, let's go back to last night's shootout. Okay, the visiting team shoots first. Saskatoon put out Joe Barnes, no goal. Brandon Weekings put up Mark Derlego, goal. The second shooter for the Saskatoon Blades, Chad Klassen, no goal. How about that? Two top gunners, no goal. Game was ready to be won right then. Tyler Dittmer did get the goal past Kuboden, and it was a goal, and it was a second goal, and it was game over. So be interesting to see what happens tonight, in which order the players will shoot, but it will be the visiting team up first.
We're going to be here a while. I think it's going more than 3 tonight.
Dan, we did a game in Seattle one night this year where there were 20 shooters, 10 from each team before
really?
That was finally decided.
Wow.
The longest so far in the Western Hockey League.
That's a lot of shooters.
I keep thinking they got to give those guys bigger shovels. I mean, come on. I mean, put that thing at least double or triple the width of that.
I think they do a nice job
but
shoveling.
Hey, I'm going to show you something. See how wide he's taking that? And I'll tell you, there's a reason for that. And you want to look for it in the shootout. A lot of guys will come in now wide on the goaltender. You know why?
I think it's a great play.
Well, it is. And because now, as they get a goaltender moving across the crease area,
more options.
You got more options.
Yeah.
And the number one option that you get is the 5-hole. Guys that come in straight on the goaltender. I think, really, if a goaltender like Jory there plays his angles properly, you watch them, they come out, and then they skate back at exactly the pace the guy's attacking the net. Godobin knows that too. You literally, Dan, can be in a situation the guy sees no net. And sometimes the deke with the ice, even though it's been scraped, isn't the best. And you see some horrifically bad efforts by players trying to go on dekes. And, you know, I think sometimes coming in on a bit of an angle, we'll see if anybody does that.
Saskatoon is 8-2 in the shootout. The Wheat Kings are 4-4. By the way, the Blades, against their East Division, 21-9 this year. And Brandon just one game below 500, so they can, versus the division, go to 500 here. A shootout and a big point on the line, and let's face it, it's a bigger point for the Brandon Wheat Kings as they try to solidify the final playoff spot.
And let's face it, it's a bigger job for that linesman at that end shoveling that ice clay. He took a little longer than people would have liked. You want to get at it right away?
I think we're almost ready to go here.
Well, who's out first? It is Barnes again.
Barnes has been very prominent in this game. He has 2 goals. And away he goes.
A reminder, he missed last night.
Reminder, he won't miss tonight.
Reminder.
Don't predict.
You got a quarter?
Don't predict, Dan. Barnes misses. Good job by Jory.
Let's see if they go with the same order. Is that Dorlego? No,
you wouldn't want to miss
it. Is.
Yeah, you don't want to change it. You don't want to change your order when it's been win. Look at his approach, very slow. Here he comes, Dorlego. Saved by Khudobin.
Nice glove save. Rabbit. I'll guarantee you Clausen's out next.
Here comes Rabbit. Still no goals for this shootout yet, and still no goals. Look at this youngster. Kurt Jory came in at 8:20 of the first period, and he has shut the door except for 1 goal after Blunt was removed.
After 2 goals, yeah.
So
Two
he's
goals that came real quick.
Okay, here we have Dittmer. There he goes wide, comes back in, save Khudobin. That's it, we might be here a while.
It is Chad Clausen.
Clausen 5 for 8 this year on shootouts. So he knows how to do it, but he doesn't this time. The kid makes another save, Kurt Jory.
Well, all Jory's done is stop Barnes, Rabbit, and Clausen.
And Brandon can win the game right here. BURKI. The game is on his stick.
He's been voted fan favorite this year in Brandon.
Oh, what a favorite he'd be again, but he cannot score. We're going to another overtime session. This one, the shootout overtime.
I don't know. You like the shootout?
We'll talk about it later. I'm enjoying this one for a moment.
Well, the fans love it.
Here comes SETOGUCHI. Scores! Oh.
Big league goal.
Oh, what a shot on the backhand.
Wow, fakes it, forehand, takes it backhand, and then goes upstairs with it. Watch this one, folks. This is pure skill. Good fake, freezes him. Now you got to go upstairs because the downstairs is covered. That pad was there.
And Darryl Boyle now must score for Brandon to keep this game alive. He does! We're going to be here a while.
You know what? That shot, you watch where Boyle shoots this puck from. He's back far enough where he's got some net to put it into. A lot of guys get way too close on the guy.
So
he's back far enough. Look, he's right between the hash marks. That's a fair distance out.
Here's Joe Logan coming in. Logan, saved by Jory. Boy, this is a seesaw shootout because now Brandon can win the game. They had a score a moment ago to extend the game. And here's Moore. Can he win it for the Wheat Kings? He goes wide as well. No! We're going to shooter number. How many did you get that Vancouver-Seattle game you worked?
We had 20. We've had 5 and 5. We've had 10 here.
Well, we're going to have at least 12. All right. Gillies coming in. Colton Gillies for the Blades. Almost mishandled it. In fact, pretty much did. Got a bit of a shot away, but no goal as Kurt Jory has stopped 5 out of 6. And once again, Brandon can win it.
Ryan, who's that? Oh. John Wickner from Sweden. Oh no, Topilko, there he is.
Topilko scores! Brandon wins it. behind victory, and what a celebration for the Brandon Wheat Kings as Topilko scores the game-winning goal to go along with the 2 he had in regulation.
I think the key thing that he does right here is he changes his skating speed. He really accelerates. The last 20 feet, he absolutely floored it and got that puck past the goaltender. Sometimes a little change of pace in the speed at which you come in is all it takes to fool a goaltender. Well, you wouldn't have thought it when Saskatoon Blades were up 4-1 in this hockey game, that white-shirted Brandon Wheat King team would come back and win. But I'll tell you, folks, it's been a gutsy effort all year by this team, and good on them. You know, when you start as tough as this team did and are as patient as this team has been this year, and as well coached as this team has been this year, they deserve some, you know, accomplishments. They got something done here tonight.
Brandon Wheat Kings winning it in the shootout 5-4. Stay with us, more to come. It's the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Well, it was a nice treat for you and I to get a chance to see a game in the Eastern Division and to see a Brandon Wheat King team. I mean, this is the thing you just love so much about junior hockey. Teams just don't quit. They stay with the program. Something happens always in junior hockey, it seems, that gives you a chance to come back. And, you know, there was a lot of different determining factors in this win, but really it came from the heart, I thought, so much.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And these players have got enough skill that they can capitalize on the mistakes that teams make. And I'm sure that, you know, Lauren Mulligan's got to be talking to his team about, guys, you know, you got to have that killer instinct. You got a team down 4-1. If you're a championship team, you do not let a team come back from a 4-1 deficit. No way. I don't care if you're playing in Winnipeg, Brandon, or Timbuktu. They had them where they wanted them. They took their foot off the gas pedal, and these Brandon Wheat Kings simply wouldn't quit.
All right, let's go downstairs. Here's Jim Toth.
Thanks very much, Dan and Bill. Jeff Topilko, last time I talked to you in Brandon, you scored the overtime winner. Tonight you got the shootout winner, and it clinched a playoff spot. You got to be happy.
Oh yeah, it's a huge to clinch that final playoff spot tonight. PA losing, us winning gave us a big boost.
Both goalies making so many saves in the shootout. What made you decide to do what you did?
Kind of copied it off from Svatos off the Colorado. Just go real slow and then speed it up and just shoot, and kind of hit him and rolled in, so kind of lucky, but got a good break.
Svatos, another former Western Leaguer. Now you guys are in the playoffs. That goal clinched it. You guys must be happy. Do you feel you're peaking at the right time?
Oh yeah, it's always good to peak at the end rather than late, exactly what we did. So we're pretty confident going into Moose Jaw.
How important is it to the last 3 games of the season to go in on a winning note?
Oh, it's huge. Everyone's confidence will be higher going in like that rather than being all down and losing and stuff like that, so it's good.
Jeff, thanks very much for this.
Yeah, no problem.
Jeff Topilko clinches a playoff spot for himself and his teammates with the Brandon Wheat Kings. Now for their final thoughts on the game, back up to the broadcast booth with Dan Russell and Bill Wilms.
And Topilko, the first star in the building, the goalkeeper Jory, second star, Barnes from Saskatoon, the third star here. And you know, now we know for sure it's going to be Moose Jaw and the Brandon Wheat Kings for the 2nd straight year.
And exactly like you said during the broadcast, the shoe is exactly on the other foot. It's Brandon that was the heavy favorite against Moose Jaw last year. They did win the series, but this year it should be the other way around. I liked what Jeff Pickle said. He said, you know what, I changed my skating speed.
Yes.
And you know, he's a very clever skater, and he copied it, what did he say, from Marek Svedis, and I think really that might have been the difference. I thought he was, Topilko was awesome tonight. He was a terrific hockey player in every aspect of the game.
Less than 2 weeks till these playoffs start in the East Division and throughout the Western Hockey League, and we're all excited. It's the greatest time of the year to be a fan of the WHL. Let's go back to WHL Central, and here again is Kevin Cady. I hope you enjoyed that one, Kevin.
Dan, as always, excellent coverage of the game, and what a game to watch. No matter what the detractors say, the shootout, it is exciting, and you could tell by the crowd there that they are loving it as well. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and wrap up the show for you. You're watching the WHL right here on Shaw TV. And welcome back to WHL Central. Let's take you around the league. You can see Swift Current with a 5-4 victory over Prince Albert. They clinch the 4th and final playoff spot in that division, so they'll be happy that they've got a couple of days to get things going. The Regina Pats 5-3 winners over Red Deer, and they eliminate the Rebels, so sad night in Red Deer. Lethbridge Hurricanes losing to Kootenay, so Kootenay still in the hunt maybe to take 2nd place away from Kelowna. The Giants and the Blazers, we talked about that one, 2-2 in the second. With a loss, the Blazers will be out of the race. Everett and Prince George early in the first, 1-0 for the Cougars. Victory by the Cougars will have the same result. Kamloops will be out. Portland and Seattle in a game that really means nothing, a 2-2 after 2. The Tri-City Americans and the Spokane Chiefs, everything set in the U.S. division already. 2-1 after 1. Broda from Tri-Cities with 2 goals on that night. The Saskatoon Blades 4, Brandon Wheat Kings 5. Shootout, hugely exciting. Topilka, we saw him 2 goals, including the shootout winner. Outstanding game. Corshane took a bit of an injury early in the game, finishes with 2 assists. Now there's your standings in the East Division. As we said, everything is set. Moose Jaw number 1, Brandon number 4, and they will kick off the first round of the playoffs. Saskatoon and Regina, it's pretty much the way it's going to end up there, although maybe an outside chance that they may switch position. From WHL Central, I want to invite you to join us on Tuesday night when we will bring you the Moose Jaw Warriors taking on the Saskatoon Blades. From Vancouver and WHL Central, I want to thank everybody for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other, and as always, the sponsors get the last word.